serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. Bonsall Pool and Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Baumgars has a loyalty shopping event this Saturday. Loyalty Rewards members can save $50 on their purchase of $200 or more. You heard that right. Spend $200 or more on any merchandise of your choosing in the store, so no gift cards, and you'll save $50 instantly. The $200 spend is pre-tax and cannot be combined with other discounts or offers. Not a loyalty member? Just sign up today. It's all happening at Baumgars this Saturday only.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I might as well put my hat on because a little Nick.
That's right. Welcome into Old School. We are on the road, not that far from home base, down at 1040 O Street. But right here we are at the Hendricks Training Complex, home of plenty of Nebraska athletics programs. But for today, the purpose of this is we are here at Husker Wrestling Wrestle-offs. That'll get things going here. Nebraska women's basketball has an exhibition. You see Nebraska women's volleyball has a match against Northwestern tonight, and then Nebraska football against Northwestern tomorrow morning. Welcome in. I am Austin Orman. To my right, your left if you're watching on stream, it is Husker Hall of Famer, 8-year NBA vet Jay Foreman. We are both in long sleeves. Nobody else in here is, and we should have known walking into a wrestling room we were going to be sweating.
Yeah, man, it's a different temperature in here, but it's all good. And but it's brisk outside. And one thing I remember about a high school wrestlers were
like you.
No. I just would see them. I'd walk past their the wrestling room and just peek my head in there and be like, man, you guys are working way too hard. And the funniest thing is that my high school, one of my favorite coaches from high school, he was a wrestler in college and he was offensive lineman. And so when he first started coaching me, we'd wrestle. He'd pin me every time. So finally, my senior year, it got a little stronger. I finally got him, or at least I thought I had him. So every time I see him, I always tell him, I got the last victory. But these guys, they look in good shape, and you got to crank up the heat. You got to see who can survive, and so. It's going to be the battle of the fittest today.
That it will. Wrestle-offs helping to determine the starting lineup, at least part of it for Nebraska wrestling. Coming off, Jay, the best finish in school history, a runner-up finish for the Huskers last year. A couple national champions in Antrell Taylor and Ridge Levitt, who's on the ticket a couple times a week. Really appreciate him and learning about the sport from him. But, Jay, I mean, you walked into a Nebraska football program that was fresh off a national runner-up finish as well. What was it about walking into that team in 1994 that opened your eyes to, oh yeah, this is what it means to be not just a good team, not just a great team, but probably a top 25 team of all time in college football and ultimately a national champion?
Yeah, I mean that 94 team was the first one that kind of broke the seal for some greatness and one of the best runs ever in college football history. But I think when I was blessed enough to come in and just have to watch and learn. And then you just kind of replicate what you saw, right? You show up, you shut up and show up, let your pads do your talking. And then obviously, we worked plenty hard and really got after each other in practice like they will today. And what the fun and the joy was just seeing the payoffs. And then obviously we took tremendous amount of joy in seeing everybody else be successful as well, because we knew that we were playing for a bigger purpose. And, they had to go through a little bit of that grind in 94 and I saw a tweet from Rob Zadika that, when they lost to Iowa State, he felt like that team was a little bit more talented, or probably more talented than 93. And to be honest with you, I will say the same thing is like, I feel like, 96 team was as talented as any other team, but we didn't have that missing. We had that, missing ingredient. We got it back. And so, it'd be really interesting to see how this, wrestling program takes off from, there for the next years to come.
From talking with your former teammates, maybe some of them who were there in 93 for falling short and then there in 94 where they took the jump, was there anything different? Was there anything added that Coach Osborne did? Because obviously you finish where you do in 93 and plenty of other times in the 20 years leading up to that. You have a successful process. You have to stay the course. I know you talk about doubling down quite a bit, but you transfer that over to Mark Manning, who hasn't won a national championship at Nebraska, but still a widely respected head coach, has done a fantastic job with this wrestling program here. Thinking back on your football experience and what you've heard from your teammates, was there anything that you think changed from 93 to 94 and Coach Osborne that might have been the missing ingredient?
I think it even started maybe a little bit before that. I think early 90s, they kind of, you got, I think for Nebraska prior, I think you had some really good individual players, obviously good and great teams, but not really about the team. I think as you get into the early 90s, 91, 92, and, maybe I think right after Wilhite left, you had to get more team guys along with, you can get both, right? And then I think that's what you saw that, you just a process of kind of like maturing and evaluating, and then obviously understanding that you're going to be able to get more bang for your buck, guys more invested in the program and still had great players. I mean, I was fortunate enough to play with Tommy Frazier, who's probably the best quarterback in Nebraska history, obviously the greatest winner,
maybe the ultimate winner,
and then the greatest running back or the best runner widely not take stats out of it, is Lawrence
Mm-hmm.
Phillips, and then Mon Green and all Correll Buckhalter and all those guys, Clinton Childs, Damon Benning, all those guys. And so that's where you get that magical run of guys and linemen, the pipeline and the pipeline 2.0, and that's how you end up winning 3 out of 4.
You mentioned the name Tommy Frazier. That's where I was going to go next. Obviously a difference maker for you guys on offense. Nebraska had plenty of great quarterbacks that had run that offense very well, for 30 years before Tommy ever got there. But there's something about Tommy. We're about to see if that same effect is true with a guy like A.J. Ferrari, who Nebraska won a big recruiting battle for in the offseason. Sounds like he's acclimating to the program relatively well, all things considered. There's that fine line, though. You have to let Tommy be himself, but also, hey, just because we think you can be the difference maker, you still got to fit into this culture and be a Nebraska football player or a Nebraska wrestler before you're about yourself.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does. I mean, I think he's won a national championship before. Correct me if I'm wrong. And he's a well-established player. I mean, he works hard at it. He represents the university. I mean, he definitely has a big brand and presence. And then by the way his social media goes, he, definitely does everything he needs to. And I think Mark Manning is smart enough and has enough experience to understand that he's what type of individual he is. And then also, I think they have history. He's recruited him before. You're able to get him out of the portal. And so I think it's going to be good for the program. I think it brings a high-profile athlete, wrestler, and he represents, and I think he'll do well. I think he's been working hard, at least by seeing his videos. So I think without saying that he'll have a great year.
Now, it wasn't the same team from '94, the first championship, to '95, the second one, but there was absolutely some carryover. When you think about the carryover, guys who've been there, who were national champs before in '94, come back for '95. Nebraska wrestling has its own equivalent of that in Nebraska's very own Antrell Taylor.
Right.
What's his mindset got to be coming off a year where he wins 156 or 157, I believe it was last year, becomes a national championship, breaking Nebraska's long drought? What's it going to take for him to double down? What does that look like for him as he attempts to defend his crown coming up this year?
It's the different to being the hunter versus the hunted, right? And you got to take your training, your mental training, your standard to a whole nother level, and then you got to bring everybody with you. So as you're defending your individual title, now you're trying to elevate the team. So now you're in a true leadership position by, or actually a higher leadership position by your individual success and the team success. And so now you just got to go and, just not get out of your way, out of your sorts of what your principles are, but then also get into the point to where you're doing, the things that you're doing. I will say this,
it's a perfect song over in the background right now. Annie Up.
Yeah,
that's where you're at.
But it's different when you go from like a rotational player to when you're a starter, and you're trying to lead. You're actually.
Carly, you're on camera. Come on
and
now.
You think about doing something else. You're doing things bigger than yourself. So, it's rinse and repeat for him. And then also you got to be a little bit more demanding, but then also you got to lead in your own way as well.
Fascinating season ahead for Nebraska wrestling. Hoping to get some guests here throughout the course of the show. If you want to be a part of the program, you can, as always, 402-464-5685. So, Jay Foreman, here we are out there for Nebraska wrestling. The best kind of beef that these boys are going to eat comes from where?
The Mercado, certified Piedmontese, special ingredients at Butcher Shop, 4th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Andermatt / Old Cheney, and 168th and Maple up there in the O.
That it does.
Yeah.
Shout out the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. And as we just got hats thrown at us, wrestling is fun. So we're being told.
Yeah.
Maybe not fun for them in the moment, but like you said, Jay, pain of discipline, much better than the pain of regret. We've had some conversations with Ridge on the station before, Ridge Levitt, national champion wrestler we just brought up, talking about how, he's been on some talented teams before that maybe didn't come through the way they were supposed to because either it was individual focus or whatever it is. But how important is it and how difficult is it to embrace the grind? It's not fun, but how do you find, maybe fun's not the right word, how do you find the satisfaction, the enjoyment, and the drive to continue through something as difficult as wrestling or football can be?
I mean, look, wrestlers are always the toughest guys out there. I mean, they have a will to win. You got to be individually motivated. You got to have a lot of courage and humility to go out there and get on stage. I've been to a wrestling match and been down there on the mat, man, and it's definitely exciting. So, what you have to do is understand that, look, not every day you're going to feel perfect. Not every day you're going to feel 100%. Is whether no sport you will, but you got to find a way to make the boring exciting, but then more also when you have the discipline to make something out of nothing. I always talk about the 85% rule where Coach Sam is talking about, where you're not feeling your best and you got to go and grade out and be at a championship level. And you can't, really, teeter-totter at 85. That's got to be your lowest. And that's where they got to take that up. They got to make sure that their lowest guy is at, maybe 88%, 90%. And you can do that. You got to be demanding. You got to be compassionate. But then also you got to be very forward-thinking and understanding that you're shooting for a goal every day. You got to have your non-negotiables, right? Every day you're going to be on time. And if you're on time, you're late. You got to be early. You got to be invested. All the things that Mark Manning is trying to instill in his program, you got to go and do. And then once they start doing that day in and day out, it'd be rinse and repeat. And then practice will be a lot harder than the matches.
Absolutely. 402-464-5685. You won't be a part of things. Disc Golf Jake on our way down. See you guys soon. Absolutely. Swing by. Say hi. I would love to see you down here at Disc Golf. Jake, a little Nebraska football to get to here in this first segment as well here, Jay. And obviously that'll carry us through the bulk of the show as we move forward. Let's talk about it. In your opinion, Nebraska versus Northwestern, is it more important for Nebraska football to establish a run game on offense or stop the run on defense? If you can only pick one.
Well, I'll say stop the run because I think you really stifle that offense, and it gets them off target and off timing. It throws off their efficiency, and then also you really take a big part of their mental edge, or more importantly, gain a mental edge for Nebraska. You struggled at times against the run. I think it's more self-inflicted. It wasn't like you just got bowled over. I think you played technique and all that stuff. We talked about it ad nauseum, but I think you come out and you stop the run. Okay, and better yet, you stop the run consistently all game. Nebraska wins this game in a kind of a ugly type of rock'em sock'em game pretty easily.
But you feel like you're in control.
Yeah, you'll be way more in control. And also it's something you have to do. This is a copycat league. When you show a little bit of leakage as far as defensively against the run, teams are going to test you. They're going to test you your way. And then once you answer the bell, then you're able to really get two victories, the mental one and then the physical one. And so for Nebraska, it's a little bit of both. I'm
not surprised that you said stopping the run would be more important given that you are a linebacker. I knew you were going to go there. Right. But for once, I agree with the defensive end of things. I'm Mr. Points, this and that, but I think that's why I would be team stop the run first, because I think that Nebraska's offense, in a vacuum, theoretically, has more ways to win the game, even if they don't, quote unquote, establish the run. I'm worried about this Nebraska defense, Jay. If it doesn't stop the run, it doesn't necessarily have another path to consistent success. Matt Rule's talked about it. They're not forcing as many turnovers as he liked. Nebraska doesn't have many fumbles, especially, right? They're not forcing many fumbles, and we can get into why that would be. We know the pass defense has been pretty solid, but Minnesota wasn't going to get a wild hair. Oh, it's time for us to throw the ball. They'll give you one just because they went away from what they were doing. Well, I think Northwestern is in that same boat. They're not going to throw it just to throw it. Yeah. If they can get away with running it, stay on schedule, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, get to 3rd and 2, feel good about their chances to move the chains. Northwestern's not going to be a team that throws the ball just for the heck of it. Maybe they'll throw it on 2nd down and 6 or something one time just to see. But Northwestern's not going to get out of its identity and get out of itself to where Nebraska can depend on creating an extra possession just because Northwestern wanted to throw it. They're not good at it or as good at it. You take advantage. If Nebraska doesn't stop the run consistently, hold Northwestern certainly below 4 yards per carry. Yeah. I mean, you're thinking hopefully in that 3.5 or lower range, then, man, it's going to be another dogfight similar to last Friday up there a week ago today now in the Twin Cities. Yeah, and I think also the timing of when you play well against the run, right? And stopping the run is different. So say like it's, 3rd and 6, you stop them at, third, you give them 3 yards. Okay, then you put them in, now you're making a punt versus, sometimes people can show up to the game thinking that you're not playing well against the run. Say it's 3rd or 4th and 1 or 2 and they get it, then you're like, oh, see, like we can't stop the run. So I think it's going to be, timing, but then also to double down on that, Austin, is say you have them backed up, right? And you need to stop the run, right? Because it'll give your offense, even if Northwestern's defense is playing pretty good, give the offense the ball, maybe at or into, to Nebraska 50, midfield or, plus territory. Yeah. So you need to stop the run. 3rd and 4, you can't give them 5 or 6, So I think it's really
those are the victories that Nebraska has to come up big against a team like this, because I think when you stop the run against Northwestern, you not only stifle their offense as far as being able to be explosive. Mm-hmm. It really takes away their mental edge, because they have Wild's having a great year, better than advertised, I think, and then they're really starting to that connection is starting to prosper with him and Preston Stone, who was established. Look, at SMU, he was a 28 touchdowns. But 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Yeah. So efficiency is there without the plethora of outside talent at SMU. So now and then also what you do when you stop the run against Northwestern, it takes away from their ability to drop back, because they got a pretty good offensive line, let you drop too deep in defensively and dump it off for 3 or 4 yards, and then get back on schedule. So to get them off schedule, it's first and second down. It's either first and second down run, first and second down. I'll just call it. We used to call it ghost play action. You got to play well. You can't let them play action. You get a fullback to the flat, 6 yards. Now they're on schedule. It's got to be fullback to the flat, 3-yard catch, no yards after contact. And so it's a huge game for Nebraska, and it's not necessarily like they're playing Ohio State or Oregon, where you're like, oh, here it comes. It's just essentially getting out of your own way physically as much mentally.
I'm glad you said that about Northwestern and their approach, especially what it would do to Northwestern if Nebraska stops the run, because I can think about this through the Nebraska lens as well. What's the conversation been really all season, but really for the last 4 games, essentially? Well, why can't Nebraska protect Dillon? Why is the offensive line so bad? How many sacks they're giving up? I think in a roundabout way, that's telling you, and Nebraska's concerned enough about it, because they view Dylan Raiola as the program identity.
Right.
So when he's getting sacked, when he's on the ground, when he's under pressure and he's under duress, when teams hit Dylan, that's like hitting Nebraska's identity.
Yeah.
So if Nebraska is able to stop the run against Northwestern, that's their identity. They'll start questioning some things. They'll have to try something that they're not as comfortable with. It's just stopping the run, on the surface level. But I think there's something more underlying to it. We can't do what we want to do. Are we really as good as we thought we were? Are we the program we said we were?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great, analogy, a great point there is that, look, they always say if you want to, cut off the head of the snake or whatever it is. And obviously, that's what people try to do. Anytime you can hit the quarterback, you affect the team. Anytime you can stymie and have some success against something that the opposition is doing, it's like double. But I think,
especially what they want to do.
Yeah, but I think for Nebraska, especially because of high profile, the offseason hype, and it's the quarterback. But I think also if Nebraska does a really good job against the Northwestern run game defensively, offensively, even if Nebraska starts off a little bit slow, I think they feel like they can get back to the run game, because Northwestern does a really good job against the run. Where you can really, I guess, mess with their mental is change up how you've been going about your offensive, philosophy. Keep them off balance. Well, Northwestern really did a really good job better job against Penn State than I would say Purdue, was they kept Penn State off balance. Right when they thought, or when you would think that Northwestern is going to go, backed up a little bit, just 3 runs and punt it. Well, they went play action, bang 8. Now we're on. Now we're rolling. Then they went back to three straight runs. We got a first down, penalty. Now it's a field goal. So they are able to really, be in rhythm and kept Penn State off balance. And so if Nebraska is able to stymie that, it works both offensively and defensively. Also, let's not forget, Nebraska's special teams has been at an advantage almost every game this year. I think this game, especially at home, and it doesn't have to be a block punt like we saw against Houston Christian. It has to be a big return or two, stifling on the coverage units, consistency, and then also if there is some wins, I think Farley said that maybe at the South, coming out of the Southeast, you got to pin them down, and then that's where the defense has to do what I said before. You got to really cash in on those opportunities.
Nebraska special teams did set the defense up for success last week, down to punt at the 2. Problem was the defense wasn't able to pay it off. Minnesota goes 14 plays, 98 yards over the course of 8 minutes. Yes. That's complimentary football. If special teams makes a play, go pick them up.
Yeah, you got it, and that's the one you have to have it. You got to do that. You have to find a way to get that done. yes, they could get a first down or something like that because you're playing a little soft and you don't want to give an explosive play. But you can't give up multiple first downs. You can't give up 8+ minutes on the clock. And then obviously, more importantly, you don't want to give up a touchdown. That's where Nebraska has to take the next step defensively, offensively, but then holistically as a team, right? You know, if you get some stuff going on, you know, offensively and you punt it, you know, you got to come up big as a punter. You know, I mean, which they have, but I'm saying, you know, for the most part, Nebraska's done that. So, but you can't, when you have these opportunities in these type of games, look, you can become bowl eligible. You beat a team that kind of is a replica of the team that beat you last week on a national stage. You become bowl eligible, then you get over that mental kind of block and the embarrassment.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take this leadership, whoever's on the leadership group or in players, right, by mouth and action, has to come out firing, and not only firing, you got to play all game, and that's what's going to be most important for Nebraska tomorrow.
Old Dad 34, control the line of scrimmage. It's simple. Nebraska wins. Often does not boil
simple.
down to
it
more
ain't
than
that simple.
sometimes.
Yeah, because that's a big old offensive line. They're sneaky athletic. Look for Northwestern.
Well coached, obviously, disciplined.
And look for Northwestern to try to implement the screen game.
Hello. Jay Foreman's key to the game. Came early.
But I think also there's opportunities offensively to get an explosive play because of Northwestern. If they try to gamble and go man early, look for Nebraska to take a shot. One, to get an explosive play. Number two, you don't have to listen to the fans trying to tell them what they do from the couch.
There we go. We'll keep talking about this game and get your thoughts on our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Again, 402-464-5685. We are here live at Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs here, helping determine kind of the end of practice, some of the starting lineup as they get ready for their season. He's House Hall of Famer Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. Right back to Old School after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Rick Heyman here from Starter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Starter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at starterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Against Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Against Sports at 48th and Vine. Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Bonsall Pool & Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. We are back here at 2 Old School. Austin Orman and Jay Foreman, the hosts of Old School, brought to you, as always, by the great people at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Got a whole crew in the building, DP Farley, Nick Gracie, all here, and plenty of fans in the stands ahead of Wrestle-offs, about 25 minutes away from getting underway. Let's just go straight to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. We'll get here with Texter 1000. It says, Jay, the offensive line has nobody behind the starters, somebody that can just step in if a starter goes down. Do you agree or disagree that that's the case for the depth on Nebraska's offensive line?
I think it all depends on, how you look at it. You can say they don't have anybody. Not anybody that's really had to play or been afforded a chance to play. I think anytime you don't have a lot of depth or perceived depth.
There we go. I was wondering why I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
There we go. That's more like it.
Well, I think anytime you don't have the depth or perceived depth, it's just because guys haven't played. And in this day of transfer portal, NIL, you're not going to have a bunch of guys that get a lot of opportunities. I mean, Nebraska has been playing a lot of close games, and so you're going to have to play your starters longer. So, really, if I'm a guy that's not a starter, my practice reps. Well, first of all, the way that they practice, they get a lot of opportunities. So you should be ready to go. Now, granted, playing in a game is different than playing or playing in practice is different in the game. But the way you approach the game, and if you're number 2 on the depth chart, guys get banged up. You've seen the history of the offensive line as far as needing guys to play. You better be locked and loaded, and then also you better have good leadership around you versus whether it's a guard coming in, that means you better be able to lean on the tackles. If it's a tackle coming in, you better be able to lean on the guards, meaning to make your transition from the bench to playing a lot easier.
We talk a lot about the continuity between quarterback and receivers,
right.
Not as much between offensive linemen, where, you've talked about just how important the communication is and knowing exactly what the guy next to you is going to do.
Well, that's the best offensive lines generally play together for a while. They know each other on the field and off the field, but the continuity is huge because it's the communication calls. It's how they move. If you play together for a while with an offensive lineman, whether he's going to, kind of lean into getting off, and how they do combo blocks and how they don't do combo blocks. So it's very, very important. And the continuity is probably, I wouldn't say I think it's probably more important in the offensive line. I'll say it across the offensive line than anything else. Now, granted, you want the continuity in from quarterback to receiver timing, but I think the offensive line sets the table. You have if you want to be a championship program, you got to build through the offensive defensive line. You got to make it important, and then also the players that come here got to take pride in it. As far as defensive line goes, you should take it upon yourself that we are going to stop the run. And you're in the middle of the season, right? More than halfway part of the season. You don't want to be up there thinking like, okay, our unit is the reason why we're not successful. You're not getting any mid-season pickups. There's no trade deadline, at least not yet. The NCAA hasn't came up with that yet.
No waivers.
So no waivers or anything like that. No special exemptions. So, when you look around the room, everybody's got to pull their weight. And you knew this was coming. You knew exactly who you were or what your unit was when the season started. And so now it's up to you to make the best of it and then obviously exceed expectations. But more importantly, have a standard that you have to play to. And I think Coach Butler talked about it. Stopping the run is more about toughness, both mental and physical toughness. And it's up to the players to go out there and put it on display.
That it is. Back to our starter Heyman Jewelers text line. Let's go to Mark. This summer, I was hoping Nebraska could go 3-1 in the first 4, then 3-1 in the second 4. Like Jay said, win this game to get bowl eligible, then try to finish strong in the last 4. Jay, we've talked about that quite a bit. Nebraska, this 5-2 mark, it's been there a couple different times under Matt Rule, including last year. Of course, Nebraska has typically gotten to November at 5-3. Yeah. That's been the record the first 2 years for the Huskers looking to wrap up bowl eligibility. Did not happen in year 1. Took a couple cracks last year. Nebraska got to 5-5 before a win over Wisconsin. What would it mean? What would it signify for this program to be able to get bowl eligible in the month of October and not say there's nothing to worry about, nothing to stress about in November, but essentially they'd be playing for seeding and positioning more so than just to get that first step?
Well, it showed the maturity and the growth that you talk about or that you want. Now, obviously, it's not where anybody really would like it, I guess, or people outside of the program don't like it. But it would show, look, we've accomplished something. And it would check a lot of boxes. Number one, you're able to bounce back from an embarrassing loss, right? And then win a game after it, right? Yeah. It's different than bouncing back after Indiana and then losing a close one to the eventual national champion and all that. But as you're able to bounce back, you're bowl eligible earlier than you had been since Mike Riley. Then it's like, okay, now you set yourself up to see what you can do with what I call house money. You're bowl eligible. Now you in everybody that you play from here on out, those next games, all teams that are hot, UCLA or USC, UCLA. We won't say Penn State, but Penn State looked a lot better against Iowa. Penn State probably their last home game for the seniors and a lot to play for. Who knows who their coach would be at that point in time. And then you get Iowa coming in. So now so that last quarter of the season, let's just say the 4 games, obviously it's not, last quarter of your schedule, last 4 weeks or last 4 games is huge because you're able to knock off guys or compete against teams you historically have had trouble with, but then also knock off some name brands, your rival or your people, guys, up the highway that you hate, Iowa, and they hate you for whatever reason. And then you're able to do some things against the newcomers in the Big Ten. So you can establish some dominance there. And more importantly, become bowl eligible against a team that's tough. Of the 13 times you played Northwestern, 10 of them been 1 score or less, right? Okay. That's huge. But then you think about USC and UCLA, you get that get back.
Yeah.
So then you're showing a little bit of tenacity, a little bit more of a dog mentality, a little bit of, oh, you doubt me? Okay, I'm gonna show you, but I'm gonna prove it, show you what I actually already know. You're putting some substance behind your word, all the things that you can think of if they're able to do it, but it starts tomorrow. It started last Sunday or whenever, or actually whatever the day they practice start,
at least Saturday mentally,
Sunday,
if not Sunday physically.
It started then. And then it, keeps pouring over. And look, if I'm a player, you're going to the hotel or whatever you got going on, before the game. When you wake up, listen, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, exactly who they're going to play. And you know what? It shouldn't be, oh man, we got to play Northwestern. This game is going to be tough. It's like, oh, we get to play Northwestern. It's going to be a white knuckle game. It's on. I like it. I don't have to worry about any of the nonsense because Braun ain't, your Coach Braun, he ain't running up the sideline like PJ Fleck. You ain't got to worry about
no fours in the air, none of that.
It's going to be straight up white knuckle, no fancy uniforms. It's the same Northwestern uniforms. It's just no fair dodging, a cool, crisp football day. You got to go out there and earn it, and that's the best way. That's the only way you should want it.
I don't know if you did this on purpose. I'll give you credit for it, but I did like how you said Nebraska gets to play Northwestern. Not Nebraska has to play Northwestern. Not Nebraska, has got to play Northwestern. Nebraska gets to.
Oh, you get to.
And that's what I'm saying is that I think an important thing for this Nebraska football team to keep in mind is take Matt Rule's word for it. Maybe they overlooked Minnesota a little bit. There's no reason to do that. But it's not like, oh, we have to stoop down to Northwestern's level. We have to play this game. It's just a formality. No, you get to play Northwestern. You get to make them ask the same questions. You have at least the opportunity to get them to ask the same questions, whatever fan base they have and in their football building, that Nebraska had to answer all week. Are we man enough? Are we tough enough? How badly do we want? What are we willing to do to get bowl eligible? It's Nebraska's turn to make someone else ask those questions.
Yeah, you get to play them. You get to get your pride back. You get to show that you have some humility. You get to show that you really
you have humility, but you're not humiliated.
No, you got humility is that you address. Humility to me is you recognize that you didn't handle your business. You were clear and had a path to rectify it. You didn't just brush it underneath the rug, and you worked actively to do it. You get to go out there and actually, I would rather play if it was me. I'd rather play Northwestern after Minnesota. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because when people question like your manhood and your toughness, and you are because you've done everything, then kind of like this is easy. So I get to go. I mean, this is the easy versus now I got to go and then change my whole mindset, and I got to try to run down the middle seam against Jeremiah Smith at Ohio State. You know what I'm saying?
Fun.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And then everybody question your athletic ability. So I think it's a good opportunity for Nebraska to get to go play a Northwestern team that's going to challenge them, but then also bring the best out of you, and that's what you want. You got to be a competitor. This is the Big Ten. You're not gonna just as much as people don't want to recognize the 90s. The 90s was built like this. Okay. We didn't have people watching. It was essentially the doors were shut. We were getting after it. It was built through hard work, toughness. You were challenged. It was friction. But we were able to build that and then show up and blow people out and beat all those ranked teams year after year after year because what we did. So now they're in the process of trying to get somewhere towards that. So now your mindset has to understand that there's parity, but I got to be the ultimate competitor. You know, what they're getting is what we wish we had.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people aren't privy to when me and Jason Peter, talk sometimes like, man, do you think, just imagine Farley will tell you if we be able to show up at a game, we're going to play all game against good competition. That's what I want.
Yeah.
Of course.
You like your sideline hot dogs too.
Yeah, Pacific and all that. I didn't do that. So it's Farley do that. I'd give me a Rice Krispie treat.
There we go. There we go.
Get a little sweet tooth. I'm with it. But that's what you want, man. And so that's where these guys should look at it. Don't look for the easy. Look for the hard, because once you beat the hard, it means more. And Northwest is going to come in and try to pose a challenge, and then you got to answer the bell.
Nebraska Northwestern, 11 o'clock tomorrow. Our A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show will kick off at 8. They put the clock and the countdown on here at the Training Center ahead of Nebraska Wrestling's Wrestle-offs, just approximately 23 minutes away from getting those underway. Coach Terrell Delagnov did deliver the matchups that we'll see here on 2 out of the 3 mats. We'll take you through those and have some more from the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line when we return to Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Did you know that deer collisions are covered under the comprehensive portion of your car insurance? That means, like with hail damage or vandalism, since they are out of your control, they don't usually raise your insurance rates. And that's a good thing, since most deer don't carry liability insurance. At Eustace Body Shop, we fixed all kinds of animal collision damage, from cows to raccoons, bobcats, and even turkeys. We can't do much for the animal, but we can get your car back on all fours and looking like new again.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402 261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
This is your year where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Pulling right along here from Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs. As promised, we have the starting matches announced. So over on mat 1, it'll be 125 pounds, one that Ridge was excited about. Ridge Lovett, that is, of Husker Wrestling. Kale Lauritsen versus Alan Kohler. Then on mat 2, Chance LeVar versus Nickade Zinkin. That'll be a couple really good ones to get things going. We'll take you through the rest of the matchups as they start happening. I'm Austin Norman. To my right here in the building, your left if you're watching on stream, is Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NFL vet Jay Foreman. Jay, let's get to this from Gorilla Bear here in the last couple minutes that we have. Not as thrilled, not as happy with Nebraska football. He says, setting up for a bad day. Northwestern is going to outcoach Nebraska thoroughly. Interesting take.
Dang.
Not an unfair take, but what is on the table for Nebraska's coaches to prove here over the last 5 games of the season?
I guess the easy answer is that, have you made, improvements from the previous year like you've done before, right? Really, I think the biggest challenge or the next step in proving yourself is tomorrow. That's the only important thing. You can't worry about the next 5 games. You got to worry about this game. This is the most important game for a plethora of reasons. And sure, fans should be upset, and they should, it's easy for fans to, look, you've earned it. You kind of earned, just like everybody assumes Alabama is going to be great year in, year out. They earned that, right? And Nebraska's, kind of earned that. Okay, look, you earned it because you were disappointed last week. From a effectiveness standpoint, efficiency standpoint, from an energy standpoint, and probably the last one was probably the disappointing one because you can control that, and you can't sit there and maybe outrun it, but you got to recognize it, and then you just got to move on for it and rectify it. And so look, fans are going to be upset, and they're in a wait and see mode, and some fans, like I said, show up and already have their Rotten Tomatoes review set, and some fans are going to go and see if Nebraska can work themselves out of from a bad performance. I do think just in general they'll play better tomorrow. That won't be the remedy to victory. Now you got to play to win, and sometimes you got to gut out an ugly victory, and you got to continue to work on the things that you haven't been doing well all season long.
Yeah,
I think last Friday night was explosive, clear picture and some of the things that they need to continue to get better at, but also don't think that they'll come this week understanding Northwestern's going to try to crank up the pass rush game, and Nebraska continue to do the same things. I think they'll make some adjustments, and then now then it's going to be on the players to go out there and execute them quarter 1 to quarter 4.
You mentioned the close games potentially winning ugly as well. Nebraska is the only team to win a game in this series by double digits. It just hasn't happened much. The last time Nebraska beat Northwestern by 2 scores or more was 2016, 24-13. Nebraska beat Northwestern in Evanston. Then you're looking at 2014. Nebraska won 38-17, and of course the big Alamo Bowl victory, 66-17 there in 2000. Northwestern has only won 1-score games against Nebraska, 31-28. 21-31, 34-31, 31-24, 30-28. And then the very first time Nebraska played Northwestern as members of the Big Ten, number 9 Nebraska lost at home 28-25 to Northwestern. So, Jay, I think our message for Husker fans is get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yeah. Probably not going to be as easy as it was back in 2021 when Nebraska won 56-7.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough game. They played everybody tough, even though they lost by 20 to Oregon. 0-0 after the first quarter, and Oregon, scored a couple times, a little bit later in the game. And I also think that when you look at that Oregon game, I don't think the offense, was as efficient. I think they were working some things out. Even the game against Tulane, I think Tulane was obviously more than ready for them, but I think they've gotten better. I think they've gotten a little bit more explosive offensively, and then continued to get better defensively. And so Nebraska's in for a good challenge, and Nebraska, is going to have to step up. There's no running from this. And that's the thing that I would be I would be hyped right now. Let's go. Let's get it on. Bring it on. I want your best shot, because I feel our best shot is better than yours.
Few more texts to get to. We will do that when we return for hour 2 of Old School. We're out here at Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs. They're just about to get underway. Again, first match is coming up here at 4 o'clock. Cale Lauritsen and Alan Kohler on mat 1, and then mat 2, it'll be Chance Lamar versus Nikade Zenkin. We'll tell you all about that and more as we continue Old School live from Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through October 26th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strip steaks for $6.98 each. USDA Choice Tri-Tip roasts $8.99 per pound. And from Thursday through Saturday, enjoy a 3-day sale on all natural chicken breasts, $1.99 per pound. Buy 4, get 4 free on seasoned pork patties and all natural pork butt, $1.88 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers, otherwise cloudy skies and a light breeze. An afternoon high around 57. Tonight, cloudy skies with light winds, a low around 48. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, otherwise overcast skies continue. An afternoon high near 58. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Celebrate Halloween with the Lincoln Stars a day early on Thursday, October 30th, as the Stars host the Sioux City Musketeers. Wear your favorite costume to the game, as there's a contest for both adults and kids with prizes for both age levels. Also, it's a Chuck-a-Puck night, and PBR beers are 2 for $6. It's Halloween Eve at the Icebox on Thursday, October 30th versus the Sioux City Musketeers. Get your tickets today at LincolnStars.com.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at HamiltonIsBusiness.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you, the listener, on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska. Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right, Old School with Foreman and Orman, and it appears to be about 100 or so of our closest friends, 150 maybe, here at Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs. The unofficial start to the season for Husker Wrestling. Couple matches in action right now. Cale Lauritsen and Alan Kohler, far side from us on mat 1. Chance Lamer and Nickade Zinkin closer to us here in the middle mat on mat 2. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Special ingredients and butcher shop, 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Again, Austin Norman and Jay Foreman here, and you can be a part of the show. 402-464-5685. Jay, we have plenty to talk about in the realm of college football. A lot of interesting games this weekend. Outside of the betting scandal that's rocking the NBA, a lot of great performances in the early going, a lot of good games being played. But before we do that, We'll keep talking some Nebraska at Northwestern here, thanks to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Text line, we'll start with Unmasked Texter, who says, I travel from coast to coast. Everyone says Nebraska is the new California. They're soft, hit them in the mouth, and they'll quit. That's the national opinion of Nebraska, and that's kind of the perception that Nebraska has been fighting even here at home. Plenty of people here in the 402, the 308, 531 as well have been calling Nebraska out. You didn't respond in the game against Minnesota. Nebraska can't do anything except own that fact. Lucky for them, they get another chance here in, let me do some quick math, approximately 19 hours when it kicks off against Northwestern. I can't say that people don't tell you that, Unmasked Texter. Maybe that's just their fans' perspective. I don't know. But more importantly than what people are saying, you're not saying, Jay, is what's going on and what's being said in that locker room. If they think they were soft and they feel the need to respond, that I think is what's more important. They have a chance to stand up underneath that narrative, and they won't undo everything over the last 30 years with one win at home against Northwestern. But they can take a step in the right direction of proving to themselves that they're not as soft as they were last week against Minnesota.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, you gotta really dive in and dissect the game. Number one, I'll say this: much like playing hard and being physical, you just don't wake up in however many hours that they wake up tomorrow morning. The game's at 11. I'm sure you're up at 7. And it's like, hey, Austin, good morning. We're going to play hard today. And we're going to be physical, ready. It doesn't work like that. It's just got to be who you are. You got to, live it. It's just it just really becomes a part of your life and your identity. Now, what you can do, you can be more physical. You can say, "Hey, look, man, we didn't, play as hard. We need to crank up," because you've seen it. We even seen I'll even do a basketball reference. Remember, like Fred Hoiberg, I think it was last year, maybe the year before. He's like, "We didn't play with enough force." That's mean they weren't physical. That's at least that's the way I took it. And then the next game, they look significantly different, right? And so I think one thing that you can do is you want to up your intensity. You can up your want to and your tensions, right? And then you got to demand it. That's a non-negotiable. And you got to tap into something towards people and tap it out and bring it out of them by challenging them. But more importantly, you got to address the technique, the fundamentals, pad level, violent hands, all that. You do all that, then you look significantly different on tape. But the motivation and discipline part. When you come out, 80-some thousand people, hype, you're gonna have to fly over. You're gonna be motivated. Northwestern's gonna be motivated. This is the biggest. This is the second biggest crowd that they're gonna play in all year. They're gonna be plenty hype too. And then you got to have the discipline to stay on the process. But then more importantly, execute when it's the most important time in the game.
0739 says, when Matt Rule completely squashes the Penn State rumors, Nebraska can be focused. Until then, the team just has to be unfocused.
That's the excuse. That's the excuse. Stop with that's the part of the problem. Just stop. Stop with this. So you're trying to tell me right now, okay, right? So say I'm a linebacker. So just say, okay, for instance, right? So, when 94 or even 95, Kevin Steele ended up going to the Carolina Panthers, and Coach Samuel's been putting first-round picks at the first-round picks and had one in the waiting, and Grant Wistrom and Jared Thomas got picked. Mike Rucker was so he has a plethora of NFL players at that position, and I was outside linebacker then. So Troy Dumas just left. I don't know if they forecasted me in 4 years to be an NFL player, but you got a nice little talent. They didn't win. You got Tony Ortiz. So you're trying to tell me that when people were calling Coach Samuel to be defensive coordinator, to go from position coach out rush ins and outside linebacker coach to coordinator places, or Coach McBride to be looking at that, you all saying, you know what, Austin, we're just lack of focus. We just going to I'm gonna forget cover 3. No, they don't work like that. Sure, you got to answer some questions, you got to read about it and all this other stuff. But when the best remedy of that is practice your teammates, the facility, and more importantly, you get to go play a game. And sure, it's a byproduct of when you're successful. It's also a byproduct of the off-season hype, and then you were ranked and all this other stuff. And it's a byproduct of James Franklin not meeting whatever check marks he needed to meet at Penn State. It's the timing. Now, I will say this. So let's just say Penn State beat Northwestern. James Franklin's still there. What would be the excuse then?
Right.
Then we would get back to what didn't happen.
Mhm.
So just keep the main thing, address the main thing that wasn't the main thing, and then the main thing has a better chance becoming the main thing. I know that's kind of a real, but sure, it's part of it. It's something.
Mhm.
But that's where you have to be self-disciplined, meaning as a player, you as a player, us as linebackers, talking about, and then us as a defense, as a unit, and then you go in every other. That's where the discipline comes in.
I think that there's a time and a place for each player to maybe not be worried or concerned about it, but think about it because it could affect their future. But here's the thing. I mean, what's the point of worry? You don't know something's going to happen. You don't know if Matt Rule's here. You don't know if Matt Rule's there, whatever is going to happen. What you do know is that you have a job to do on Saturday against Northwestern. And Jay, we hear it all the time for up and coming athletes and, even pros when they reach the top and they give interviews. Sports were my escape. It's where I got away from the stuff outside.
Right.
You've talked about it too. The amount of work that it's not that just you should want to do, but the amount of work you have to do to be as good as you can possibly be for yourself and for your team. You should be too busy to have time to worry about that. Where yes, it is a consideration down the line. Yes, it does affect you in some ways, but isn't the point of going to practice, having other guys with you and stepping between the lines, isn't that where you're supposed to let all that go? Because you have a job to do and you can't afford to be focused on anything else. If you can't put that to the side, you're doing yourself and your team a disservice.
Yeah, I mean, you got to really, sure. Look, if you don't think when I was in Buffalo and I guess John Butler wanted, or the owner wanted Wade Phillips to fire Bruce DeHaven, then all of a sudden, the Ralph Wilson fired the GM and came walking to the middle of practice. Was a little bit of distraction. Were guys talking about it in the locker room? Sure. But then we played that next week and beat Miami, or that next game beat Miami. Now a little bit more senior laden team, and we had obviously some great players.
But you set the tone.
But sure, it is a talking point. But then you got to make sure you redirect it back to the game. I doubt it's stopping you from studying. Yes, and it could be in the back of your mind and to feel some calls from family. But I don't think it's something that's going to stop you from your preparation. I think really when you look at the game last week, Nebraska didn't play up to their standard that they had, and maybe you got to. This is your first time of dealing. It's also this is probably the really only excuse. Well, actually, it's not an excuse. It's factual, or it could be a factual. I'm not on the team. I don't know. I'm not a part of the program, or as far as in there. It's probably the better reason. Let's say reason is they hadn't dealt with real success this season to them. What they view as success. Okay, you win I guess a thrilling game against Maryland on the road, right? A great time, a lot of eyes on that game. You did everything. You had some explosive plays. It was drama filled, right? So it's an exciting game. You got a nice travel and playing and all that. And then you come back, you land late, wake up Sunday, you're ranked. So now you essentially got rewarded for that victory in what you've done and what you've been waiting for. And also felt like some guys maybe felt like or that we've arrived as a team after losing to Michigan. And then maybe lost your focus because you got a little bit, man, that cupcake and ice cream was real, you got real soft and you got, your back padded. Maybe that's it. But as far as the rumors of Coach Rule leaving, and then if he would have said that and that, then it just what's going to happen is going to happen. Who I don't even know if he knows. Nobody knows if he's even on the job, and if he has, that's his business, and it does affect everybody else's, careers. But ultimately, the main thing that affects your career is tomorrow at 11 o'clock, 11:06. That's when it's going to get on. Is when it's going to be on. So that protects you from everything.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do. I talk about when I was up for my first contract is that, after every game, Austin, I was calling my agent, hey, did you see what so-and-so did? I'm I exceeded my game, expectations, this, and that. And if you heard from him and all that, finally just we all got together and said, you just go play good. The business will be the business. It's his job, my agent, to handle the business. It's your job to handle the physical business. And it was my dad's job to keep me focused. And it worked itself out.
Yeah.
Not when I wanted to, but when it was the right time to have it. And so what Nebraska needs to do is really, I think the more you talk about things that aren't the reason, it takes away from the reason why you didn't play good.
Yeah.
The best way to remedy that is deal with what we didn't do.
The facts.
The facts.
The provable.
The tangible.
Mhm.
Things that maybe are not maybe let slip by because you've been winning.
Mhm.
All those things. It's more process oriented versus outcome oriented, or outcome based. Excuse me.
Absolutely. Kip here says, Jay, this crop of young humans aren't cut from that cloth. That cloth is gone. We'll never have another group of people cut from that cloth. That's what
What cloth
made
is
your
that?
generation unique. I assume
Good.
the mental toughness and focus cloth. And let me push back on this before you go, because I refuse to believe that's true. Now, is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. That's up for you to decide in your own head, but certainly it's different.
Yeah.
I think that at the end of the day, human beings are human beings.
Yeah.
We all have such similar software inside of us, right? Either you have it or you don't. But I think most people, if not everyone, has it somewhere in there. But the best coaches are the ones that find a way to bring it out of you.
Yeah.
And part of that's recruiting. You never know. It's always a guess. I understand all that. But you talk about culture, you talk about identity, you talk about fit. Some of that goes back to me as a coach or me as a player. Am I with a person that I can get the best out of, or that is going to get the best out of me? That's a bunch of this, because I don't think it's necessarily true on its face 100% across the board that kids today are all soft. They're all not wired the same, or it's impossible to get it out of them. I think maybe you have to approach it in a different way. And I'm tired of the excuse of, oh, they're soft, we're never going to get back there. No, if you're a coach, find a way to get there. If you're a player, you have to believe that it's inside you, find a way to get there.
I think you got to go about it a little bit different, but I think your non-negotiables of discipline, accountability, and all that doesn't need to change. It shouldn't have to change, because the teams and coaches and players that are successful and are winning at what we want to are doing it. So that means they must be a different human, and then everybody comes here as like an alien. That's not the truth. Here's what I do think is true. If you allow, I guess, young people or these kids, especially in sports, to be soft, they will be softer.
If you're telling them that they're soft, how do you think they're going to react?
No. If you allow them, that means if you're not challenging them in the right, challenging them enough, holding them accountable enough, they will go to that
extreme.
Yeah.
And I agree. That's what I say when you tell them, because if they hear that from Kip, oh, kids will this day will never be like that. That's giving them
they're going to
permission.
hang on that. Yeah.
Yeah. That they hear you say it, and then they start to believe it, whether it's true or not, right? Some kids, the ones that we would say are quote unquote wired the right way, will take that personally. Yeah, I'm wired the right way. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm about. I'll handle my business. But some, the ones that don't know how driven they can be, that don't know what they want to do, that are still trying to figure it out, will be like, well, maybe I am. Why, if I can't trust this coach to lead me, why should I?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm tired of hearing that, because whether it's true or not, the more you hear it, the more you at least begin to think it's true.
Yeah. The drastic difference is now is more relationship based, but I do think that you could, because with these kids, you got have more interaction with them. Now, I'll push back on that. You have more interaction with them because you're around them more. You know what I'm saying? I never want to be around my coaches. These kids. So
they beg you to come into the facility,
but you can't be their best friend.
Right.
So it's kind of like that parent thing. But I will say this though, is here's the reality about athletes in general, is whether it's back in 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, the 1% of the people that of the athletes that are from a very young age 100% driven, they don't waver, they work, they exceed X, Y, and Z, that's never going to change.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm telling you is majority of athletes have to be taught, shown, forced, or whatever it is, and you have to bring that out of them.
You got to lead them.
And it's the environment, because look, the Jay Foreman that came in is significantly different mentally, physically, and spiritually than one that left. The Jason Peter that came in is the same. The Tommy Fraser is the same. So you come in one way and you leave another, and so that's the environment. You got to create that environment. I mean, so sure, do you have to coach a little different? Sure, practices is different. But if you only get to wear full pads once a week, we getting after it. That ain't changing. So then when we wear full pads the second time a week, we getting after it, and that's on Saturdays. So I think it's all environment based, and the environment is also based on how you interact with each other. And then sometimes you got to be challenged and pushed and embarrassed to bring it out of you, because you never know how far you can go until you go and do it. I think the biggest difference in athletes these days, they try to do it conditionally.
Yeah.
I'm
with a guarantee of success.
Right. And that's not sports,
especially not football.
Hey, as we've seen over there with our boy up there with Chauncey Billups, there is no guarantee. There is no guarantee.
There's also no guarantee in wrestling, which is why we're here at Nebraska Wrestling. Wrestle-offs round 2, I believe the third set of matches. LJ Araujo versus Jagger Condomiti in front of us on mat 2. On the far side, Jacob Van D and Hayden Mills all duking it out. Plenty more to come here from Husker Wrestling. And that's where I think we can go back to our text line here real quick, Jane. Maybe this will set the stage for our next discussion as well here in just a sec. But Unmasked Texter says, turn off the Wi-Fi in the locker room until they decide to play hard. I did that with my players, and you would not believe the difference. Of course, my players are junior high kids, so maybe it's different. Yeah, I don't think the Wi-Fi has to do anything with anything, but I kind of love that idea.
I like it, though. You know, one of the things like, here's a simple sacrifice that you could demand at linebacker room. All right, when we're gonna, so say we watched an hour of tape a week extra together outside of mandatory
meetings. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna crank that up to 2.5 hours, but we ain't changing. No cell phones, no nothing. Even if you door. Right, the only time you have it is you have a 5-minute break to go to the bathroom and check emergencies, and do that, because that's the sacrifice. But it's also going to create a habit. So when you're actually on your own at your apartment or whatever, it's going to be a natural habit. And so sure, that's it. Yeah, you do cut off the Wi-Fi. You do that. It's no different than like with basketball players. They say an hour before the game, no phones. Because it helps your mind focus on basketball. It gets the phones can kind of mess up your whole, your equilibrium and all that. So that's the one thing you could do. I just think in there, I think all that stuff is great and all that. You can say, hey man, you're not allowed to go into the, PlayStation room or whatever they got down there. But ultimately, you just got to get back to work and then really get into some true hard work and deal with the facts that, what didn't work out well, what has to work well, and what you got to do tomorrow. Tomorrow is more mental than physical. It's more
physical will be downstream of mental.
Yeah, but because that'll control it. But tomorrow is being decided and fostered right now. Right now, like with these guys. Right? You know that Northwestern's here. I'm here. I got the challenge. They're trying to challenge us. People are questioning us. I don't like it. What I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. That's all that's got it. Like literally sometimes, like Austin, when you're put in these situations, whether it was like, I remember, going through training camp and in competition, I felt like I was a better player. I wasn't getting a lot of chances. Coach come up to me and was like, hey, you better do this or else. Right? I knew it was coming. That's fine. But he was challenging me to see where you're at. But as he was talking to me, and it was as I'm running into the locker room, great timing on his part. But it was like literally like white noise, because I was already the gears were already churning. So right now for everybody on this team, and it's different based on position and what you do. It's visualization. It's got to be churning. Oh, okay. Oh, you challenged me. I want the challenge. I'm gonna bring the challenge. It's more mental, man. You got to work yourself up to get into a game like this, and then you will start to really running towards the fight and wanting to fight, and then you all should
craving the contact.
You should feel like it's disrespectful if you don't bring it to you. Then it's gonna be wanted. Then that'll change, And there won't be anything that coach says. It'll be actually player-led and all that stuff. And then you'll start to see a significant difference than where you're able to sometimes be to where you start a little slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what button to push for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can answer. And then I know that I got to bring you with me. And, sometimes you got to sacrifice your own personal gain to get, the betterment for the team.
Kip says, don't just stop at taking their Wi-Fi away, also take their money. And you know who's cut from the 90s Huskers cloth? The Husker wrestling team. Indeed. Yeah, a bunch of tough dudes out here physically
he take their money
and
too.
mentally. He's taking their money. That's what Kip wants to do.
Boy, I could tell you right now, Kip, from being a basketball coach, I guarantee you had kids cussing you out to their parents, or at least in their head. I guarantee there's a group chat or about the parents about Coach Kip. Can you believe he did this? How
what's he doing?
He didn't have any Wi-Fi. Anything. He couldn't get nothing to drink. Yeah, boy. I know how it is, boy. That's one thing about coaching, boy. You find out, exactly who people are versus who they say they are, boy.
Indeed. We will take a break. We're up against the clock. We're rolling right along here at Wrestle-offs for Husker Wrestling. Over there on Mat 1, Antrail Taylor and Des Gartrell are going at it. About to turn the page on Mat 2 to Silas Allred and Marco Christensen, all here at Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. More from our Starter Heyman Jewelers text line, more on the big weekend ahead in college football, and, of course, more of Husker Wrestling next year on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Norman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life, your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Bonsall Pool & Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool & Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com. Celebrate Halloween with the Lincoln Stars a day early on Thursday, October 30th as the Stars host the Sioux City Musketeers. Wear your favorite costume to the game as there's a contest for both adults and kids with prizes for both age levels. Also, it's a Chuck-a-Puck night and PBR beers are 2 for $6. It's Halloween Eve at the Icebox on Thursday, October 30th versus the Sioux City Musketeers. Get your tickets today at LincolnStars.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
You're invited to a Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards on October 31st. Stop by Madsen's from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. for live music and a live podcast, costume contest, poker, and of course, karaoke. Admission is free, and there's still plenty of TVs to catch the Friday night college football games as well. That's 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Friday, October 31st for the Halloween karaoke party at Madsen's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holder.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Fino Cleaning Services and Noreen Home Care Services would like to remind all of our lady listeners that breast cancer is a serious issue. 1 out of 8 women fall victim to this silent predator, but if detected early, steps can be taken towards treatment and prevention. Fino Cleaning Services and Noreen Home Care Services providing professional, commercial, and residential janitorial services as well as home care services, assistance with daily activities, and more. Call 402-805-2190. That's 805-2190. Fino Cleaning Services or Noreen Home Care Services. On the air because they care.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O. Sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel. Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're rolling right through old school here with Foreman and Orman live from Nebraska Wrestling Wrestle-offs. We'll give you results as they come in with the winners of the matches. About halfway through over there on mat 1. We're headed into, looks like match number 5 over there, Alan Kohler and Abdi Unle. Over here on mat 2, it's still Silas Allred and Marco Christensen going at it here for the Huskers. This segment of the show brought to you as always by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. Based out of Hallam, Nebraska, they offer a free estimate, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. Heartland of Nebraska Windows, locally and owned with their own team of installers. Give them a call today for more information. 402-430-3852. All right, here are your winners. Over on mat 1, Cale Lauritsen took down Alan Kohler. It was Cam McDaniel beating Dom Tebow. We call him T-Bone Tebow for their Mercado sponsorship. I think that's what we can do. Jacob Van D takes down Hayden Mills, and Antrell Taylor, defending national champion, defeats Des Gartrell. On mat 2, closer to us, Chance Lammer beat Nikade Zinkin. It was Scott Robertson over Blake Cushing. LJ Arajo took down Jagger Condomiti. Jagger, fantastic wrestling name, by the way. That one tracks. And then Silas Allred, returning starter from last year, prevails over Marco Christensen. So here we're moving on here. Christopher Minto versus Ty Izey, then Alan Kohler and Abdi Unle, the next 2 matchups for you over here at Husker Wrestling Wrestle-offs. Back to the text line here, Jay. Got this from Ryan P. The fact that this game, Nebraska Northwestern, is an important game is asinine to me. Northwestern should be a school or a team that Nebraska always beats. That is a dangerous mindset. That is taking the brand versus the brand. Matt Rule has said it time and again, and I don't think it is just lip service, and certainly I think it needs to come through in Nebraska's actions. Everyone 1 through 18 can beat anyone any given week. There's enough talent in the Big Ten. There's enough good coaching in the Big Ten. You're not safe. The Big Ten has a bit of a logjam in the middle. Guess what? Like it or not, Ryan P., Nebraska and Northwestern enter the game with the same record at 5-2. You can say, Nebraska's brand is better than Northwestern's. The brand has nothing to do with this. I've been in those moments where, I tell the story all the time. I had a coach before baseball say, guys, it's this school. We don't lose to this school. Sometimes you need that to get your swagger back. Yeah, this is who we are. You know what? This is what we're about. We're going to take care of business. But sometimes that mindset can go way too far. You get over your skis. You think you're someone you're not. You've talked about kind of the entitled mindset sometimes. What is success to you? You haven't earned the brand. If you're in Nebraska in the last 30 years, you haven't been in the national championship picture really since 2001. You cannot rely on your brand, Nebraska, to beat Northwestern. You got to rely on your work to beat Northwestern.
Yeah, I mean, it's those days. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And people want you want that 90s, like people hate talking about the 90s saying it's over, but you want to be treated that's not it. No. You know, you got to go earn it. And so where Nebraska's at is that, you know, they're in the upper part of that second tier, and you got to fight like hell to stay there. And the second tier is as far as like you got Ohio State, Oregon, I would say Penn State, Michigan, they're up there, right? Those are
Indiana right now.
Indiana right now. And then you got the second tier. Nebraska's in that, top part of that second tier. But anybody in that second tier can lose to somebody down in the bottom of the third or the middle of the third or the bottom of the second tier. Mm-hmm. And Northwestern trying to fight their way up to the middle to, highest possible that they can in the second tier. And so it's going to be a competitive game. You'd like to think at any point in time over the history, Nebraska against Northwestern, a football school against a more of an academic-led school, Nebraska should win, 9 times out of 10. But, the transition to the Big Ten has been different than Nebraska has faced before. Has nothing to do with the staff that's presently here. And so you got to find your way, your way around it. And
through it, really.
Yeah, around it or through it, however you want to do it. I mean, sometimes you can't blow through Ohio State. You got to find a way to get around it. And what Nebraska hasn't had, probably what they're fighting to have, and obviously this has to do with some of the stuff that they said was a distraction, is trying to have some consistent continuity from the top to the bottom. That's from the, administration to athletic director to now we have a GM and the head coach lock and step. Where take Indiana out of it, where like a team like Northwestern has always been, been able to be pretty competitive, is Fitzgerald was there for as long as, as a player, as assistant coach, head coach. A lot of administration has been the same. The standard and what they've been about, and, football-wise has been the same. So they've been able to pack that type of mentality in the old Big Ten, which was easier to do it because you weren't able to and didn't have to turn over the roster year in and year out. Nebraska's trying to do two things. One, builds consistency and a new brand, and that's mixed in with the old, and obviously being able to adapt to the new. And then more importantly, trying to be very consistent in the upper parts of the program as far as, the administration goes, because that's a byproduct of what goes on the field. And, so where they're at, you got to deal with where you're at. If you sit there and say what you shouldn't be, you won't get to where you have to be. And so the most important thing is they got to handle their business tomorrow. All that stuff and what Nebraska should be favored at and all that, that's for the fans and for people that get in their emotions based on, some of the work that you didn't put in or some of the work that you think you deservedly earned. Nebraska got to go earn it tomorrow. No, there's no other way to look at it. You got to go earn it. Very winnable game. Should not be showing up to that game thinking that that you got to play, way over your skis to beat Northwestern. You just got to go beat them. It might not be pretty, but it's going to be hard, and you shouldn't like it no other way.
You brought up Nebraska having a GM, and I didn't think we had enough to do a full segment on this, but since you brought up the GM for Nebraska, USA Today Sports actually did a survey of the Power 4 conferences in terms of the football GM and the front office and whatnot, and they came up with the numbers. What are some of them making?
They're getting paid.
They are.
Yeah, that's the new job now.
It is. The guy that's getting paid the most, Michael Lombardi, over at North Carolina, reported salary of $1.5 million to be the North Carolina GM. Okay, whatever. He's an outlier.
So he's making more than the AD.
Probably.
Oh, that's why.
Now Bubba does come from money, so
yeah, but Bubba knows. Bubba's made some money,
right?
And Bubba's like, you. This is what you're putting out, and you're making more than me. No, I'm just playing.
Let's make the money right next year. Down that list, number 2, Mark Pantoni of Ohio State, $900,000 makes sense. Marshall Malkow at Oregon, $900,000. That would make some sense. Courtney Morgan at Alabama.
Yeah, remember he left. Where did he leave to go? Was it Texas A&M?
That
he was
sounds
a huge get for Bama when DeBoer came in.
He was. So this is from the Alabama Athletics website right here. Courtney Morgan was head coach Kalen DeBoer's first hire at the University of Alabama, joining the Tide staff as GM in January of 24. DeBoer had him at Washington in 22-23, but he came from Michigan in 2021. He was with DeBoer at Fresno State in 2020 as well.
But he was a big get. I remember it was a big deal. It was probably one of the first signings they announced. It was
literally the first guy on staff.
Yeah, it was a big deal. And he was at the forefront of being a GM when he wasn't technically by name. And so, they're a big part. Who are the other guys that are getting paid?
Okay, so then number 5 at $800,000 even, you have 3 guys, all in very different spots. Austin Thomas of LSU, $800,000.
I can see that.
Patrick Stewart at Nebraska, $800,000. And how about this? Former NFL head coach Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron, making 800 G's from Cal.
Ron Rivera is probably the only one that's the outlier. Looks so different because he didn't have any experience. Now his experience is being a head coach, and you're lock and step with a GM. So he's been in plenty of draft rooms. He's been in contract negotiations. He knows. So plus he's a big, huge Cal alum. So I think he brings things outside of what you would want to see on a resume that can really pay off for them.
Rounding out the top 10, a few interesting names as well. You have Jim Nagy at Oklahoma, former Senior Bowl director.
Yeah, built that thing up, and he knows and you don't necessarily have to come from the NFL to be a GM. You got to know, you got to be a really good talent evaluator. You got to have a good group around you as far as, being able to manage the cap or whatever. And you got to be a person that understands what football looks like and also what they're looking for at this level, college, and then what could potentially NFL look for as well.
Number 9, Vince Morrow at Louisville, the kid that they had from Kentucky. He was a big piece of Mark Stoops' staff for a long time. And then at number 10, Brandon Harris from Texas.
You know where he was at before that?
He was right here in Lincoln.
Vince can recruit, man.
He has his ways.
Yeah, he can recruit.
He's good at it.
Yeah. And who's the last guy?
Brandon Harris, GM at Texas, 600 G's.
Dang, he's getting underpaid.
His Arch Manning acquisition hasn't worked out.
That is not yet. But I think that's questionable. Now on the field it hasn't, because I think that's where the expectations and the reality was totally different. Where I don't even know he could have met the perception out there. But let's think about this. The money that they made of Arch Manning, the players that they were able to get because Arch Manning was there. I mean, Texas always could recruit at a high level, but just imagine how much they were able to make off of that.
Absolutely. So another match in progress right here in front of us. Mat 2, looks like it's the loser of 1 versus, so it'll be Nikade Zinkin and Blake Cushing going at it here on Mat 2. Down on the other end on Mat 1, Dom Tebow and Cooper Colson. We'll be back here to Old School here momentarily. Continue this discussion. Keep your thoughts rolling in all show long. 402-464-5685. Jay Foreman there, Austin Norman here, DP in the house as well. This is Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Vino Cleaning Services and Noreen Home Care Services would like to remind all of our lady listeners that breast cancer is a serious issue. 1 out of 8 women fall victim to this silent predator, but if detected early, steps can be taken towards treatment and prevention. Vino Cleaning Services and Noreen Home Care Services, providing professional, commercial, and residential janitorial services, as well as home care services, assistance with daily activities, and more. Call 402-805-2190. That's 805-2190. Vino Cleaning Services or Noreen Home Care Services. On the air because they care.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers, otherwise cloudy skies and a light breeze, an afternoon high around 57. Tonight, cloudy skies with light winds, a low around 48. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, otherwise overcast skies continue, an afternoon high near 58. I'm meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here a roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through October 26th, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce New York strip steaks for $6.98 each. USDA Choice Tri-Tip Roast, $8.99 per pound. And from Thursday through Saturday, enjoy a 3-day sale on all natural chicken breasts, $1.99 per pound. Buy 4, get 4 free on seasoned pork patties and all natural pork butt, $1.88 per pound. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Celebrate Halloween with the Lincoln Stars a day early on Thursday, October 30th, as the Stars host the Sioux City Musketeers. Wear your favorite costume to the game, as there's a contest for both adults and kids with prizes for both age levels. Also, it's a Chuck-a-Puck night, and PBR beers are 2 for $6. It's Halloween Eve at the Icebox on Thursday, October 30th versus the Sioux City Musketeers. Get your tickets today at LincolnStars.com.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're wrapping up hour 2 of Old School here, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Orman here, Jay Foreman over there. Appreciate everyone tuning in to Old School as always. Jay, here we get a chance to talk a little bit more Wrestling. We talk a lot about the 7 All-Americans, all the big names on the roster that we know right now, but I think part of the excitement is the names that we get to learn, right, for Husker Wrestling, guys that have their chance to crack the lineup this year based on departures, especially through graduation. And what better way, I think, if you are a new guy in the lineup, especially at 125, right? We've seen a bunch of different people go at it there in that weight class across the 2 mats. What better way and what better situation for you to walk into than a lineup that already has, 7 All-American last year, bring in another one in AJ Ferrari, right? Talk about having those role models, guys that can help you live up to a standard and help you know what that standard is from the jump. I think that's an incredible lineup to walk into rather than, oh crap, I got to shoulder so much heavy load on my own as a new person. Talk about what that veteran experience can do for the new guys whose names we'll learn here as they crack the lineup.
It's like being a little puppy you're on the porch and you learn how to bark before you jump off the porch and get into the fight. But I think when you had like Alan Kohler and Lords in their first match, being able to come in and just wrestle free. And what I mean by that is you have the known 7 All-Americans, and then Ferrari here, you're able to learn by watching them picking up some tricks, but then also just hyper focusing on being the best, at this case 125, and not just being a guy as a placeholder, but then match in and match out, learn how to get better, and then obviously then being somebody that they can count on. And that's also a great environment that you have right here, where you have when you're trying to wrestle off and trying to earn your spot. The intimacy of wrestling is obviously on display here. Probably when we walked in, there was probably about 20 people here. Now it's close to 100. Obviously, wrestling fans, friends and family, and people that are obviously want to be associated with the Nebraska wrestling program, especially
just went into the stands down there.
Right,
on Mat
you like
1.
that, and that's when I went to a match with DP, I didn't know what to expect. You see it, but then when you get down there and see the intensity and how quick and how fast it is, it's actually, pretty exciting. So, I think this is just a part of the process of being a championship program. And I think you got to have championship players, coming back, or wrestlers coming back, excuse me. But then when you have guys that are coming in, and then you're able to provide some depth through competition. And, sometimes I would say this, Austin, wrestling in front of your peers, family, friends, sometimes can be harder than wrestling with the crowd because they know you. You got to see them more often, and they judge you a little bit harshly. So I think this is obviously a learning tool, but then a competition tool as well for Mark Manning, is having his crew go through today.
Some of the comments we're getting here on YouTube and Facebook. Appreciate everyone tuned in on our Starter Human Jeweler stream. So we're at one end here. We're behind what they would consider mat 3. We're at the far end. So even if we did turn our cameras around, it would not necessarily be the best view for you. It'd be really hard to figure out. And we're giving you results as we get them, right? We don't have a great view of the scoreboards that they have up in here, not a great angle. So as we get the information, we're doing the best we can to pass it along to you. If we did turn the cameras around, what you would see would be incredible fan support. You got people along the back wall, mostly Husker wrestlers and coaches along the back wall that says Nebraska Wrestling, but it is really filled in. We got a few dozen people sitting on the floor right in front of us.
You got a couple kids over there going at it right there. And they're they're trying to replicate what they're seeing. You got some young kids down there, even on mat 1, almost getting crushed by the ref. And down on mat 1, I think you have, Ziola against Andrews, 2 bigger guys going at it, and obviously 2 veteran guys trying to earn their stripes, and that's what you want to see. You saw them warming up over here together, and they have a pretty extensive warm-up before they even start to get into competition mode and competing for a spot. Everybody knows there's only one guy that can go out there on the mat, each mat, and they go and earn it. And so it's a big, quick. One thing about Andrews, I want to say, I'm just watching right here, and everybody's talking about tackling. He's quick, dude. For a big man, a bigger guy or bigger wrestler, obviously way bigger than 125. Him going and getting that leg was a pretty good technique there on how to tackle against a quick defender in Ziola.
And now we just made the dude do a handstand. Yeah, this is incredible. Over here in front of us, it is Chance Lamer and Scott Robertson going at it. We're up against the clock. We'll bring you more from Nebraska Wrestling and their Wrestle-offs. A lot of great wrestling action going on here at top at the Hendricks Training Center. Big thanks, as always, to our friends at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. I hope these fellas are able to get a nice, good Certified Piedmontese steak. It's a chicken wing sort of night. Maybe it's a pork chop sort of night. What is it for you tonight from the Mercado, Jay? What do you think?
Tonight, I'll probably go get some pork chops. This weather is like a smothered pork chops, with potatoes or mashed potatoes or something like that. But you can't prep that while you're on the radio. So you have to.
Do you have anyone at home you can trust?
I get a pre-made meal from the Mercado. You'd be just as good. Well off, because the pre-made meals at both single serving and family size definitely hit the spot as well. They got pasta as well, and they have a sweet tooth. So
not too late yet to go get you some. If
Yeah,
it's pre-made, right? You're getting off work, don't know what you want to do on the way home. 3 locations in Lincoln for you: 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and 85th and Old Cheney. If you're listening up in Omaha, you can get to 168th and Maple. We'll be right back for more Hour 3 of Old School on the other side from Hendricks.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Koppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Koppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Koppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the all-new Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide the smooth energy to get you through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Prepare for the Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card. Pinnacle Bank Arena. Friday, October 31st. Special guests, The Wonder Years and Dinosaur Pileup. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. The Maximum Fun Tour. A day to remember. Yellow Card.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, the New School way. We are doing it a very new school way. We're over here at the Hendricks at the Nebraska wrestling facility at the Wrestle-offs and seeing we're getting a really clear glimpse into the dominant team potentially for next year. We are brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 84th. Wait, hold on.
We can do this.
Hold on now. 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. I'm watching because I got distracted by Andrews and Ziola down there. I like the little bit of spiciness right there. 85th and Andremat and Old Cheney and 168th and Maple up there.
He did it.
Yes, I got distracted. The first time in a couple years I got distracted. They were getting after it down there. I like that. The friction is good. I don't know what the outcome was of it, but it definitely was a hard-fought match. And, we're getting our spotter over here, DP, giving us a little bit of an inside scoop there. But they got after a little bit. You got to take a little bit of a TV timeout and reset. But I like that competition. And, over here you get to see when you're talking about, these guys, they know what was at stake today, right? And so when they get up, just like Nebraska football, it's time to show and tell. There's still some people who are still coming in to catch the end of it. It's kind of like almost like they're when in season spring game, you get to look see into the team, especially after the success of Nebraska wrestling last year being the runner up. Mm-hmm. This is where friction is on display, and that's what you want.
Well, the healthy version of it.
Oh, this is healthy. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Look at Mark Manning over there, like the Dundada. He's over there just seeing the fruits of his labor and seeing his wrestlers go at it and earn their spot. And that's what you want as a coach, and that's what you want as a Nebraska wrestler.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't have it any other way. It's not you shouldn't want it any other way. It's you can't have it any other way, right? No one in this program is going to get to where they want to go without the friction. In fact, in most cases, it'll be because of the friction, as it looks like Chance Lamer ends up going 2 for 2 in his day here on the middle mat. Congratulations to that young man, one of them in contention in one of the lower weight classes there. But yeah, I mean, this program ran into its own friction in some ways, just in the big picture, Jay. Yeah. I mean, always being at national, sending plenty of them there, and then it finally pays off, not all the way, but more than it has ever in school history, with a runner-up finish last year, the best in program history. You can talk about the friction on an individual level and how it pushes them, but you can tell that, Mark Manning has gone through some of that himself. What does he need to do to continue to grow this program to the new heights that it reached last year? Now there's one more step for this program to take, and it's not going to get there without even more of that friction and figuring out a way to push through it.
Well, it's not only friction, and you got to, nurture it. You got to mature it. I think, just like any, great coach, and Mark Manning definitely fits it. He's kind of reshaped what he wants in a Husker wrestler. He wants guys that are invested. He lets his, present, roster kind of have a lot of input on it because they built the foundation as far as their team, and that's what you want. And as a leader, he's not just saying, "Hey, you guys just decide." He's saying, "Let's do this together," because if they are in it in this sport right here. They are in it together, and so he has a better process of how they go out and recruit kids, whether it's out of the portal or obviously out of high school. He has a standard of excellence that he expects coming in, and you see him over there coaching now. The switch doesn't turn off for him. So if the switch doesn't turn off from the head man, it can't switch. It's not turned off from anybody else, and that's where I think there was a big step. And I think they had a clear process, and everybody bought in. I can almost guarantee that their offseason was a little bit different than last year and had been in previous years. And with Chase, one thing we saw Chase over there going 2 for 2 today. I know they don't take a lot of days off around here, but I guarantee you his weekend and his Friday night has got a little bit better, right? And I'm serious.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you could just tell the amount of depth and talent, whether I guess you're a starter or a guy that's on the reserve. There's no days off in here.
No.
And so going to 2-0 is a big feat, and the more that you can go 2-0 here is allow you to go 1-0 when you get out there and match against other opponents throughout the season. So it's built through hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, literally in here, and they have no problem performing it, in close proximity like they are here. And then obviously on the big stage, at the Devaney.
All done over on mat 1. They moved this one over to mat 2. Put it center stage where it belongs. Cam McDaniel and Cooper Colson going at it here. And I mean, you think about these guys, what they go through in wrestling. I mean, it is like its purest distilled form. It's a gladiator sport.
Yeah.
I mean, this is exactly what you're talking about, right? I mean, 2 men enter, 1 man leave.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I mean, it is hand to hand, no fair dodging, like you've said, and the stuff that these guys put them through. We know in football, the injury culture is you're not injured. You might be, might be banged up, might be nicked, might be bruised.
Yeah.
The stuff that we've heard the wrestlers talk about on the stations, the stuff that they've pushed through, not just for 1 match or 2 matches, but the stuff that they suffer early on in the year, maybe even in practice against the high level competition that they push through, they carry with them the entire year. You're never 100% in a football season. You're never 100% in a wrestling season. And I think that goes both ways.
There's a healthy fear of, knowing, injury versus being hurt. And they display it. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to come out here and wrestle one-on-one. And you got to be self-motivated. It's a great takedown there. Who was that?
It looks like that was Cam McDaniel.
Yeah,
with the
McDaniel.
takedown.
That was a great. First of all, that was a phenomenal tackle. We need him on goal line. Hey, he dropped the hips, drove it, same shoulder, same foot. That was a really good job there by McDaniel and Colson. They really went at it too. There's 2 veterans locking up there. But
let's address this. Looks like they're wrapping up. So first of all, we're going to be done with the wrestling. Number 2, again, for those of you who might have missed it, we're not in the best spot to be able to show you the wrestling. We're down here on one end. We don't have the TV cameras like you expect to do. That's why we're doing our best to talk about. I don't know.
Yeah.
We didn't get clearance. We did not get clearance. But the vantage point that we're at is not necessarily conducive to have shown you the wrestling, which is why we're here talking about it, giving you the results as best we can. And we just had that takedown from Cam McDaniel of Cooper Colson.
Yeah, man, that was a good takedown. It was a good day for Nebraska wrestling, and it was phenomenal, man. And it was really cool to see the growth of the team. I mean, obviously Antrell came in and to see the difference between the national champion is he was super smooth, boy, and he did his work and he worked hard and very efficient. And that's what, if you look at Nebraska football, if you look at Antrell, there is a difference. But the depth of the team, of the roster that Mark Manning has, is on display. And now it's obviously really cool for the wrestlers, some of their friends and family. This is a big deal. This is kind of like the kickoff. You know what I'm saying? And, it's also part of the process. You got, some guys that didn't work out so well. Now they got to get back to work. And it's just the start. It's not the finish. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how they go from here on out.
We're going to go ahead and bring in our wrestling correspondent, host of All In on 93.7 The Ticket, as well as contributor Takedown Tuesday, Ridge Levitt. Ridge, welcome back to The Ticket.
I appreciate it.
What'd you see? What'd you like?
It started a little slow. The guys weren't really pushing the pace, and it's a little tough when you're competing against your teammates, right? Because we train together every single day. The coaches are pushing us to kind of wrestle the same kind of style, right? Push the pace a little bit, harden the hand fight. So you can kind of see it, like, especially with Kale and Alan Kaler in the very first match, right? That was the big one that we were looking at, where we didn't really know who it was going to be, but they both came out real cautious, kind of, not quite feeling each other out. They're pretty, they know each
They're
other
familiar.
well. Yeah, very familiar. But I liked it in the middle. After that first 1-2 matches, the action started picking up a little bit, and then I liked the heavyweight match. Cade Ziola, Harley Andrews. That's about how I expected that match to go. Didn't really know who was going to win, but a tight one, contested the whole time. Near fall.
Who took it? We couldn't see it.
Ziola won 4 near fall at the very end. It was 5-5 with 20 seconds left at the restart, and Harley went for a roll, looking for reversal escape, and Cade caught him on his back 4 near fall. Finished the match kind of like a vet. And that's big
For a guy that's
from
not a
red
vet.
shirt. Yeah.
You mentioned that match at 125, Kale versus Allen. 125 is often the party starter, right? How important is it for those young guys who weren't in the lineup last year to really adopt that mentality, to know that, hey, I can't afford to be not even just cautious, not even feeling out, but especially not passive, to be aggressive and really set the tone early for a wrestling team?
Yeah, it's big. Winning's contagious. So if you get I've been fortunate to have our 25 pounders with Thompson when I was at 133, and then Liam Cronin, and then Caleb Smith coming out, and those guys were energizer bunnies. They were fire starters, getting us going, bringing the energy. So that's big, getting the duel started the right way. And a lot of teams like to start the duel at 125. So having a guy in there that can get your team, get the ball rolling in the right direction is big.
Put your Mark Manning hat on. What's he telling the guys over there?
He's telling them that it was a pretty good showing today. He liked the energy, he liked the fight. The matches were tight, they were contested, and that's what we're looking for. So, if somebody goes down, right, where injury bug is always around, we try to avoid it. But if that happens, right, backups are always ready to go. So telling the guys right now, hey, even if you didn't win today, you stay ready. You're always ready to go at any moment. We can pull you into the lineup, and you need to be ready to come in, compete, and be ready to win.
How important is it for you to go from, obviously, the ultimate competition? And I always say it's even more pressure in this intimate setting because you got friends and family, or you got to deal with the text messages and calls afterwards. And then to flip that switch and say, okay, now we got to get back to work together for the bigger prize, was obviously hopefully a national championship.
Yeah, sometimes it's tough to do, especially in a weight like 125 where it's super tight, super contested. Who knows who's going to win any day of the week? So, but having those tight battles, those guys really work to start building each other up.
Yeah. And so, how does that happen? So say me, obviously I'm bigger than you, but just say we're at the same
I'd still
weight
take
class,
Ridge, but
and Ridge, you win, right? But we're kind of even Steven. Then as you get to the matches, what's my role as obviously, the backup? What does my week look like? It was my job solely to prepare you for who you're going to go against? Or is it kind of like, all right, we're going at it, and then obviously you're going to take the lead going into the match?
With wrestling, a big thing that we talk about is being in charge of your own development, right? Even if you're not the guy, you still need to be prepared to step in at any moment. Right. So you have to be continually progressing yourself, but also at the same time having to be super selfless, right? A lot of times wrestling is a selfish sport because there's only you out there. You have to focus on yourself and do what's best for you. But at the same time, like, we're a team, we're a family. You want your boys to do good. Right. And how the starter does out on the mat has a reflection on you,
right,
as the practice partner, as the training partner. So you want them to do well, but at the same time being focused on how you can become your best, but at the same time being selfless enough to give up your spare time to help your partner be the best that they can be as well.
Yeah, it's the ultimate. It's an individual. It's no different than football. You guys are operating individually, thinking collectively because it's a bigger thing. And that's pretty cool to see, man, just because of the I've went to one match. The speed, the quickness that you guys put on display is pretty special, man. You guys are tough dudes. I was a football player. I always tell people the hardest guys I used to go against was the former wrestlers. You guys never quit. You know what I mean?
Oh, always.
But you guys are in phenomenal shape. You're good to get surrounded by some recent champions. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Come on.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you guys about that, right? About winning championships as an individual, and the difference of going from when you didn't, you hadn't reached the pinnacle to doing it, and what that feels like. Obviously, I've been blessed enough to be a part of that, but for you guys to do it, I know it had to be pretty special.
Yeah, it was a super cool feeling, super fulfilling. you know, because I've been doing this since I was 3 years old. So it's
Right.
been lifelong dream, was 4-time state champ, undefeated in high school. I want to be an NCAA champ, want to be an Olympic champ.
Right.
So this was just like one more step on the ladder. And it's always gratifying to finally be able to knock off those big goals.
And I want to ask you, man. I mean,
Antrell Taylor, national champion.
Yeah, local from the hood, right? Talk about, when did you decide in your mind, this is what I'm gonna do? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because you know, you could watch it and stuff. Then you say, you know what, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. And talk about when you decided that, and then talk about probably how many people say, man, you crazy for thinking that.
I would say when I was in high school, I would only watch the NCAA tournament. That was like one of the only things I would watch. I'd be like, man, I could beat all these dudes. But then my homies would be like, man, you sure? You ain't even stepped foot in college yet.
Right.
And then when I did step foot in college, I got a rude awakening and I got my butt whooped. But then I found it quick. And then once I really knew that I was able to do the things that I could do at the highest level, that's when I just took it and ran with it. And I just started training like a madman, you know.
What about for you?
Yeah, so my story is the same exact way, right? In high school, watching NCAAs, watching the duels, I'm like, I can hang with these guys. Then once I got here, took some licks. Not gonna lie, that first year I took some whoopings, but it's being able to adapt quickly, and it's just a lot of it's just little adjustments. The main difference from high school to college, like they're not doing any new moves. The guys are a little bit stronger, they're a little bit older, but it's just like the speed at which the action is happening.
Yeah.
Everything is just a lot quicker. And then once you make that speed change, then it's just wrestling.
One of the things I think was most important for me is the butt kickings. Talk about that process, because I think that just everybody sees you now, but they don't know the L's when you're going back. I don't know. You guys might have had apartments. When I'm walking back to Able dorms, yeah, it was. If I had a car, I was going right. You was just driving to Omaha. I was going to drive to Minneapolis if I had a car. Talk about the life, not only the lessons through your sport, but the life lessons you learn through the hard times, because that's what makes right now sweeter, where you're able to battle through some things, and obviously, you know, later on in your life as well.
Yeah, I truly think like you said, the losses, it built the foundation to where I'm at right now. Just because without those, I wouldn't have been able to have to get up and come back to practice after just getting my butt whooped, you know, and that shows, like, that speaks volumes on your character and all types of things. That if you're able to get beat up and come back, like that show you really want what's in front of you. So
what about for you?
The way I thought about it is, you know, like in reality, nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares that you lost. Nobody cares how you feel. So a big part of it is being able to kind of take that, put it behind you, and all right back to the next thing. Right. In football, you miss a tackle, next play.
Right.
With wrestling, bad match, it's like, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do good? All right, let's fix that stuff. Let's get better at the stuff we were doing good, and let's on to the next thing, because the guy I'm wrestling next week, they don't care.
Right.
Meeting of the minds here. Bunch of national championships to my right. Ridge Lovett, Jay Foreman, and Antrell Taylor. Antrell, national champion as a sophomore, returning national champion. Now you're an upperclassman. What's it been like to you now, thinking through, you know, not just being a national champion, but being an upperclassman on this team? I'm sure you've been a leader in your own way, but now third year in the program, what's that leadership role like and meant like to you this season?
Yeah, I feel like nothing's changed too much. It's just I like a lot of weight off my shoulders, like, because I was always chasing a national title. I've had a national title, and so it's honestly just about putting the work together and just going out and performing the best I can.
Talk about the guy you wrestled, Des Gartrell. What's he meant to you this offseason going against him?
Des, we train each and every day together. He's a good guy to train with. He's tough, hard work, and he's a good dude. He's gonna take over my spot next year once I leave, or not 2 years once I leave.
hey, now you got another year after this. So come on now.
You know, you never know, man. You get somebody come in, start a professional wrestler. You guys got the early entry into the pros, man.
Right.
And I wanted to ask you guys this though, man, because I mean, obviously, when we won in '94, '95, and you know what you need to do both individually and where you guys went last year collectively. Talk about you got to have some sort of patience though, because you guys been through this. Some of these 125 has gone through it. Now you guys have already been there. Now you got to kind of really pull the reins on them and say, hey, look, man, we got to go through this grind even a little bit harder. Talk about that process, because you guys have been there, but then also you want to have a little bit more patience before you obviously get going in the season.
Yeah. So after I took second, people kind of started wrestling me a little bit different.
Right.
It's no longer the hunter. You're being the hunted. So people all year long or game. They have Nebraska like for
Right.
you, they're gonna have Nebraska circled on the schedule.
Right.
We got a shot at the champ.
Right.
So they're game planning for you. They're gonna come out. Every match is gonna be a little bit different, but it's just having the mindset that nothing changes.
Right.
I wrestle the way I wrestle, and I will not be denied.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly what Rhea said. Nothing changes.
Yeah,
Nothing changes.
I always look at it as a great honor when you go from the. I will tell you this. I mean, you don't need advice, but just from me, it's it's kind of like you get to the NFL. I'd say it's a little bit easier to get there. It's harder to stay, and then it's all mental. You got to go to like a little bit more of a darker place. You got to feel disrespected about something that they didn't do.
Yeah.
You got to sometimes beat somebody super bad just to prove a point. Sometimes you got to show them exactly who you are and what you're made of. But, I was impressed, man. What you guys are doing right now, you guys don't really realize it because you guys are young. You guys are, creating a legacy for, obviously when you get old like me, you'll be able to come back. So, definitely appreciate you guys coming on. We got, man, I never met you before. I seen you all around. I seen you all around, man. Welcome, welcome to Nebraska. What's your thoughts on today? I know you've been through it. You guys are both national champions. How you guys feeling? How are you feeling right now?
I just think that the guys are really coming together. Their footwork. You're seeing guys like Antro separating himself, working on footwork, timing. Getting back in shape. Obviously, last year, I had a dominant victory, but this year, he's coming to get majors and tech falls and trying to separate himself to get the Hodge, just like myself. So when we look to getting our second national title, it's kind of about dominating the competition, not just sneaking by, winning 3-2, 5-2, really separating yourself like you saw him do today.
Right.
And I think that's important, that the lifestyle, like he said in his interviews, I watched him get interviewed maybe a couple of days ago with Brock Hardy, and he really talked about the lifestyle. That's what really separates, I think, Nebraska wrestling. Specifically, I like to say the Nebraska gang guys that are like locked in, that are killers, That's what separates us, is that we give every single part of our lifestyle to this. It's not halfway in. We eat, sleep, breathe this.
Right.
Whether we're eating, sleeping, training, everything is geared towards this. The only thing that I prioritize more than winning on the wrestling mat is personally my faith and salvation in Jesus Christ, right? Everything else is secondary, even friendship, certain things secondary. This time of year, it's time to lock in. It's time to take guys out, and just having the opportunity here, I love, and I don't take it for granted, the fact that I get to have guys like Antro Taylor next to me, Brock Hardy, that really live that lifestyle, Cade Ziola, guys that are young guys that are starving for success, and a lot of guys talk that game, but they don't actually live it in their lifestyle. And that's important to really, whether you're eating, sleeping, watching film, it's a lifestyle. And then that's why you're going to see Antro Taylor separate himself like you saw today, myself, those type of guys. Cause like yesterday, I was lifting for 3 hours doing legs. I couldn't wrestle today. I got a couple small minor injuries, tweaks, a little turf toe injury I'm dealing with right now, but I'll be back soon, next couple weeks. I'm still lifting. I'm still wrestling live. You know what I mean? I'm doing everything I can, but I'm not going 110%. I got to let my body heal right now. But I can't wait to be a part of this team. It's a legendary team, just to win a team championship, going from having, such a great coaching staff, Coach Mark Manning, Coach Shavada Lagnev, all the coaches here, just such great individuals. They preach faith and they preach work ethic and discipline, and they live it themselves. For me, that was a big difference for me, because I had a lot of coaches preaching, but they weren't living it, Here they have that, they really, really have that as a coaching staff. And I'm just so grateful to have that from Coach Snyder, Coach Dolagnev, Coach Green, Coach Manning. They're just amazing.
I wanted to ask you guys both, you guys can answer whenever you want. You guys are both champions, right? And I always feel like, when I played, I was always able to kind of watch and learn something from another great player, regardless of the position. What are some of the things you kind of learned from him or picked up on what made him special? And what some of the things you kind of picked up from Antro that makes him special? Because obviously it's like kind of like paying your respects. Like, man, I respect your game. Yeah. You respect his game. What are some of the things you guys kind of noticed and picked up from each other to take you to potentially higher levels this year?
I think kicking it in gear when you don't feel like it, like even at the end of practice when, I've been injured a couple of times. And I'm sure these guys, it's hard for them to see me getting on them when I'm not really necessarily training it's hard for me because I can't push myself the way I really want to right now just because of the injury. But like him, like he just watching him wrestle, like for me, I'm always telling him like speed, speed kills. He's got that speed, he's got that athleticism, those God-given gifts. Those aren't things that can be really added to your game. Those are things that God gives you and you work with them, right? That's called talent. But remembering every day that talent isn't what wins national championships. What wins national championships is work ethic and desire and mindset, and moving your feet when you don't feel like it. At the end of practice, he doesn't always like it. I don't always like it when he gets on me, when I get on him. I always tell him, slow feet, don't eat, use your speed, use your fakes, don't hang out. Even today, like I'm wrestling in a boot literally, And I'm like, move my feet even when I don't feel like it, even after doing 3 hours of legs yesterday and I can barely stand, I'm still moving my feet, and that's what separates our team is like, we just have that push towards being excellent in every area of our lifestyle. And really it's the Holy Spirit of the Lord. We just pursue, God and everything. We understand that discipline and embracing discomfort. A lot of teams run from that. A lot of teams run from the pain. So many of our guys, you see like guys right now, like I even saw Van D doing extra footwork right now. Right. He's tired, just had a wrestling match. That they push themselves past exhaustion, and that's what separates guys like Antrell Taylor from the pack is, man, they can go for 30 seconds a minute, maybe even 2 minutes. They'd be able to sneak in and sit in a 3-point stance. But that third minute, that second period, that third period, he's on them and they're going to break. That's just that mindset and just that tenacity, being an animal and just constant pressure. Everybody has a breaking point, everybody, and you just got to find it. And it's just beautiful whenever you see guys like Antrell Taylor taking them out in that second, third period and guys just break, put their head in the mat. It's a beautiful feeling, man.
Antrell, what are some of the things you learned or kind of appreciate maybe, and learn it well from him?
Yeah, just his work ethic, the work he puts in each and every day. Even if he's hurt right now, he's still doing what he can do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still appreciate that he's doing that, because a lot of guys will sit out to the side and milk the injury. He's not doing that. He's going to lift, do anything he can. So I would say his work ethic.
Before we get you guys out of here, I know that you guys are wrestlers. I'm a football player. Tell me what position you play if you play football. Because I know
running back.
Okay.
I'll stand on the field the whole time.
Yes, sir. What about you? You big dudes. So I'd have you as a DN.
Probably linebacker, one of those positions. And I always liked playing football. I played football for a while, but again, like I said today, the difference between football and wrestling is just the mind, where it's like that one-on-one aspect where you can break people and you can just take their souls. Like, that's the one thing I love about wrestling. And now even more, like for me, I took a couple years off. I was doing MMA, mixed martial arts. Right. It's just different, the mindset, and just everybody can wrestle for 30 seconds, a minute, maybe even a period, maybe 2 periods, but can you wrestle for 7 minutes at a high level with guys that got pace like him, with relentless fakes, relentless pulling on the head, fake and movement, timing, precision over power, timing over speed. And that's what you're seeing guys like Antrell. Like, he's already a great athlete like myself. Like, I'm probably the best athlete at heavyweight right now, not even close. Same thing for him in his weight class. There's nobody even close to as good of an athlete at 157 for him. So the biggest thing is just us putting that work in and us just taking it. Every day I tell the guys, I tell myself, take the day. If I win the day, I can only control so many things, right? I can't control my foot, but what I can control is me doing bench press 405 pounds to the point where my arms give out. What I can't control is me doing push-ups till my arms give out, and that's what he's always doing. It's just amazing to see that type of environment here where everybody's doing it, whether you're a middleweight, whether you're a low weight, whether you're upper weight. For me right now, it's really eating and lifting, and just pushing through, being sore or anything. But yeah.
Antrell, you hear him talk about the athleticism, right? And again, both you guys have been to that mountaintop. You've won a national championship. How do you find mentally and physically the way to balance that athletic arrogance of, I'm the best dude on the mat every time I step out there, with the humility to continue to work hard and grow your craft?
I just say combining, like you said, combining my athleticism and finding the right ties and the attacks that I need that exceed that. I can really show it and dudes can't catch up. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I do it. Simple. I make it simple, but it ain't.
Hey,
it's simple. It's not easy.
That's the best way to do it. Just keep it simple. Just use your athletic ability and just break them. That's
for real.
That's
what I did my whole life.
Yeah.
You know what they call that? They call it the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. It's not complicated, right? It's the process of being a champion in wrestling and in life is so simple. But the thing is, there's always that temptation. There's always the devil out there having distractions, right? And that's the biggest thing this time of year is what's going to separate guys like him and me, just like you talked about in his interview, is not what we're doing in here. It's not what people are seeing. It's not the work you put in here. It's the work you're putting out there. Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers of all time, said the best and the hardest battle you ever face is being in bed at 10 p.m. with your lights out by yourself with no girls, no nothing. Muhammad Ali said it himself. So, hey, me and Antrell Taylor, we're some pretty good looking guys, man. We got a lot of people coming after us. We got to stay disciplined.
Y'all got to stay locked out, man. You never go back and worry about what you didn't do. It's all about what you did. So we're gonna go to break right now. This is a championship edition. I'm about to do 2 national champions. Appreciate you guys listening. Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at CoppleCars.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the all-new Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide the smooth energy to get you through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Bonsall Pool and Spa's annual Spooktacular sale is here. Now through November 1st, get an extra $1,000 off hot tubs at an already low sale price and get $500 off the already low sale prices on infrared and traditional saunas. All hot tub water care products and accessories are also for sale for the Spooktacular sale, now through November 1st at Bonsall Pool and Spa at 33rd and Highway 2. Call for more info at 402-488-0148 or visit bonsallpool.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Walk around with half chub. Walk in there with half chub on them, too. We'll see, man. All right. Yeah, we'll see you, dude. Well, we're back. Austin Orman, Jay Foreman. We're over here at the Hendricks Wrestling Facility. Everybody's cleared out. We got a couple guys in getting some extra cardio in, but it's good to have two national champions on, man. And it was
three of them.
Yeah. Two current ones. It was pretty cool, man, just to get in their mindset and see what Mark Manning is slowly but surely built and is going to continue to grow. And so look, Nebraska wrestling is here to stay. And I told Mark once you got out there and you had that great year, I said that's what, back in the day, I said now you showed your tail, now you got to keep doing it. So onward and upward, and you can see with the type of intensity that they prepare with it, they're going to have a great year, just like they did last year.
Oh, absolutely. And this is a championship level program, a championship standard program. Still looking for that elusive team championship.
Yeah.
But Jay, that's where I do think the return of a guy like Antrell Taylor, who's a national champion. Hopefully AJ Ferrari continues to acclimate into the program. He knows what it takes to get to that individual peak. And that's where I think we can tie in your motto of operate individually, think collectively. When you have guys like Antrell and AJ in the building that have won a national championship, you see how they work. Those are guys that whether they like it or not, need to step into that leadership role. This is what it's going to take. Here's how you take that extra step for your own self, right? Wrestling's different than football. 10 guys on the mat, obviously not all at once. But you see what national championship work ethic and standard looks like. You don't have a chance or a choice but to meet their level. It's on those guys to bring it out of everyone else, because then once you're operating collectively in your match, you're doing your job in practice, off the mat, all that stuff. That's when you get the collective benefit. You win your meets, you win your duels, you win your matches, and you like where you're at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, they got a big job, but it seems like they're both, ready for the challenge, and they are seeking that challenge. It's like I said, you get to play. You're excited to play a team like Northwestern. They're excited to double down and validate their success last year, both individually and collectively. They're excited to go to work and push themselves and push each other and push each other's buttons and demand more. So that's what the part of the process, of the sports lessons that lead to life lessons, and the camaraderie and the championship pedigree that's just built right here, day in and day out, was just on display. And now they're, working towards the next step, unleashing that fury on the first opponent, and then just kind of keep knocking people off individually and collectively. And so, you got to give a lot of props to, Coach Manning. He probably had opportunities at times throughout his career being here to look at other opportunities. He saw something special here. He had the confidence and obviously the support from the athletic department to do so. he's done it and continue to grow it. And so, I'm happy for him. I love Mark Manning. I think
How can you not? First of all,
yeah. But look, the one thing that Mr. Fast Twitch Ferrari said that he lives it. This is who Mark is. This is wrestling. He loves it. He takes the principles out of it. He's old school, but he's new school as well in the mentality, and he loves his wrestlers. He loves Nebraska, and he's a big part of the athletic department in the overall success of Nebraska athletics. He's a guy that you really can depend on, and that's what he expects of his wrestlers, both in here in the facility and then obviously out in the real world.
We'll have the conversation until we're blue in the face. Is it on the coaches? Is it on the players? It's on both. What degree? What do you attribute to coaches? What do you attribute to players? But I think something that's unique about college, Jay, really in any sport compared to the pros in any sport, is it's so hard for professional coaches to shape a program or a franchise in their image.
Yeah.
The ones that did it right, you think about maybe like Greg Popovich with the Spurs. You think about Bill Belichick in New England, stuff like that. Even in baseball, right, managers, you don't really have a program, right? Ways you like to play, things you prioritize. So much of that is front office down. And some of that's coming to college sports. But you think about, I think in college sports, it can be so much about finding the right leader for a program.
Yeah.
Obviously, they need the institutional support. Nebraska has supported wrestling and will continue to, especially if they keep performing the way they have over the last handful of years. But you think about, a guy like Mark Manning shaping this program into his image.
Yeah.
He's been here for so long. He was given the runway because he was successful. He knows what a Nebraska wrestler looks like, what they sound like, how they work, right? You think about your Coach K's back in the day, right? Your Dean Smiths, your John Thompsons in college basketball, your Nick Saban's, your Tom Osborne's, obviously not to skip over the obvious one there. Yeah. At some point, I think in college, you find the right guy, you can have that leader that shapes the program all the way down. That's easier to do more consistently in college. Guys can stay in jobs. So you really understand what a Husker looks like. You can really nail that down and be able to become more consistent with it, where you can tweak the formula here and there, but at the end of the day, what the formula needs to look, sound, smell, etc.
He's done it. He's done it. And, it's a unique opportunity where he's been able to build up this program. So you have a little bit maybe longer runway or a little bit clearer path to do so. Mm-hmm. It takes maybe a little bit more time because you got to kind of really create your own aura. You got to deal with the lumps. You got to really keep at it. There's times where you could take the easy route out, but he chose not to do any of that and done everything that's the best for the Nebraska wrestling. And then you saw the payoff last year. Probably saw a little bit the year before. You saw a big payoff last year. You're going to see it again this year. You're able to attract, bigger personalities, obviously, and bigger talent, like Mr. Fast Twitch or, Ferrari. But, with him, take all the talk out of it. He's a heck of a wrestler, and he's bringing a lot to this program in a positive way. And it's a byproduct of what Mark Manning has done in his initial recruiting, of Mr. Ferrari, and then obviously being able to recruit him a second time made the choice probably easier, especially where he's taken the program. But then also Mark Manning has always been consistent, and you see it in football recruiting. You might miss out on him on the first go round, but you have a good rapport with him. You were trustworthy. You might have just made another choice. You get him on the second go round with this transfer portal and NIL. The door is never, completely closed until their eligibility is up. So,
who knows when their eligibility is going to be?
Yeah, I know you better wrestle.
Sports,
it might be. You might get some pros, wrestling leagues out of here. So, I think it's one of those things that it was really cool to see. It's really, great, and leading into tomorrow, so hopefully some of the good vibes we saw on display today will go have that wrestler's mentality when they go and face Northwestern. Tomorrow at 11 o'clock, because they're going to need it and they're going to have to go out and meet the challenge.
There's no excuse for Nebraska football to not have that championship mindset if it's operating the right way. You act like a champion long before you are a champion. And I know that Nebraska football is going to be the flagship, the money earner, all that stuff. It has the 5 national titles. But man, you walk around this wrestling program, you're eating with these guys, you're seeing them around campus, all that sort of thing. You can't brush them off. You can't say, oh, whatever, you're just a wrestler, I'm a football player. Talk to them, learn their mindset. Volleyball, right? I know they're the cute girls, queens on campus, all that stuff. But understand that those are driven, motivated athletes.
Yeah, you don't
performing at championship level. So you can't just say, oh, well, that mentality is not there in the football program. It's getting there on campus across these other sports. And I'm not saying football doesn't do that, but you have these great resources in your peers that even outside of the walls of the football program can help hold you to that championship standard as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just good peer pressure. I mean,
Yeah.
you see everybody else starting to level up. You got to level up as a, football program, basketball program, men's and women's. Everybody's got to level up, and that's the, you want to stay competitive. I mean, it wasn't just us winning national championships when I was here. Volleyball won national championship, track. The basketball team, both men's and women's, was more than viable. Baseball team was really, really good. Softball team was really, really good. So I think it just becomes a standard, and that's what you sometimes have to reset it. And obviously, hopefully, our leadership from our, president, I think it goes to president, chancellor, AD, then obviously the coaches, we could just keep the continuity there. Then that'll be a little bit easier. So, I think Nebraska is, in a good spot. And then obviously with the football team being able to kick off tomorrow, led by the volleyball team tonight, about to kick off at 6, or tip off at 6. Our first serve is at 6 to be, technically, sound. Hopefully it's a winning weekend, and that's what AJ was talking about. Just day after day, winning a day. That's what you want to do. Every time Nebraska goes out there in athletics, is just win the day, and then obviously win the matches or whatever you got. But as far as tomorrow goes, look, it's going to be a little cool, so it's going to be white knuckle game anyway, so you might as well get after it. You're never as cold or as tired or as you think you are. You're just a little bit uncomfortable, and you got to really devil in that. And if you do, it becomes a lot easier.
Absolutely.
So,
give our predictions when we come back, maybe?
Yeah, we'll take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
I can't believe I just scratched that car. Find my insurance card.
Dude, what do you have in this glove box? Ew, are these socks dirty?
Oh, forget about the socks. I need my insurance card.
Just pull it up on the State Farm mobile app.
But I can do that? Oh, hey, I can do that.
Yep, it's called service.
I can file a claim on here too?
Yeah, it's called service.
Whoa, I can call my agent too?
It's called service.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krikak, today at 402-474-1173.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Cobble Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Cobble is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Cobble Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Join the whole Ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at our downtown studio at 11th and O, sponsored by Select Plumbing, Raising Cane's, Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Currency, and the Kindler Hotel.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
If one of the things running through your mind as a business owner is the recurring worry of possible cyber attacks, you can let out a sigh of relief. Hamilton Business Technologies has you covered. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we offer real-time threat monitoring, advanced security protocols, and more to keep your data safe from harm. We care about the success of Nebraska businesses and communities like yours. Learn how we can help you at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers, otherwise cloudy skies and a light breeze. An afternoon high around 57. Tonight, cloudy skies with light winds, a low around 48. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers, otherwise overcast skies continue. An afternoon high near 58. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R. The temperature and leaves are falling daily, so that means it's time for a new pair of shoes for the fall season from Brown's Shoe Fit. Now through October 31st, take $15 off any regularly priced fall shoes and boots. Brands like Keen, Oboz, Echo, Taos, and Atrex all $15 off. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details. This is the sale you've all been waiting for, so get down to Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels and Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels and Joe. Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Quick segment here before we send you guys off into not the weekend, but obviously to the volleyball game, and then obviously Nebraska kicking butt. Once again, we're over here at the Devaney Hendricks complex with up there, the wrestling facility. The Wrestle-off was great. This team is going to be a team to be reckoned with, but we appreciate the Mark Manning and crew letting us come in and pretty much not take over their spot, but just be a part of what the kickoff to their season. So we got a good look in. Sorry we couldn't obviously broadcast it. That would probably be not lead.
Well, even if it was allowed, we just didn't have a great vantage point. So it wouldn't have done y'all much good. You wouldn't have been able to break it down like you would have.
Got some cool hats. They got wrestling, a fun hat. It's all good. They got some new swag. Listen, you level up, man, when you get national championship runner up, couple national champions, 7 coming back, and 7 All-Americans coming back. So we'll see what happens. But as far as Nebraska goes, I think this game is going to be a low-scoring game, Austin. I think this is going to be 24-16 Nebraska. Just a
slobber knocker.
Just a slow. It's gonna be a fast game, but it ain't gonna be. It's just gonna be just back and forth. Yeah.
We'll be starting pregame approximately 1:30. Is what you're saying?
It'll be on time. It'll be on time. Yeah. I think this. I think it's gonna be 24-16 type of game.
Yeah, I'm in that 23-16, 23-17. I think 27-23 is maybe on the upper end of what I would go, but I do think it does come down to one possession.
Yeah, I think it comes down to one possession, and I think Nebraska will be able to pull it out. I think Nebraska has a little bit more firepower. I think they'll be able to will themselves to play well against the run, and I think if it gets into a chuck and duck contest, I think Nebraska on the edges as far as like their ability to cover with Northwestern's against Northwestern's outside receivers, Nebraska bodes well. I think Nebraska can cover their tight ends with their safeties and everything else. So Nebraska's got to pack their big boy pads and then handle business from there. So.
Before we get out of here, I do want to give a very special shout out to my wife, Olivia. It's our 5th anniversary today. So,
oh, man.
Honey,
yeah,
love you.
Congrats,
we'll
man.
see you for dinner here in just a little bit. But, man, 5 years.
Man, I got to give her a hug, man. She's dealing with you for 5 years.
And we've dated for 3 years before that.
There
So,
it is.
8 years of her dealing with my sorry you-know-what, and she's still here. So, God bless her soul, honey. I love you.
Hey, man. Congratulations to you, Austin. You got to get your coverage, man.
I did. I ever.
Yeah. Well, that's good, man. That's the old school mentality. Old school here, live in effect. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. We'll holler at you next week, but we'll actually on the pregame show tomorrow, 8 to kickoff. We'll make sure you tune in. For my man Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, we'll holler at you next week.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers